Be a golden opportunity to inch closer to the Wings and a Turner Cup playoff spot. Head coach Peter Mahavlich's Icers are warming up and soon will be ready to meet the Wing Challenge. Now let's go to the sports arena for all of the excitement as the Toledo Goaldiggers host the Kalamazoo Wings on Channel 5A of the cable system. Good evening and welcome to the Toledo Sports Arena, everyone. I'm Glenn Cerny along with Perry Braun, and tonight on Channel 5A of the cable system, once again, we have Toledo Goaldigger hockey. The task tonight is to defeat their closest rival in a Turner Cup playoff spot, the Kalamazoo Wings. And Perry Braun, we've got a tale of two players returning, both wearing number 9, but the similarities in there. I'm referring to Don Murdoch, who's returning to the Toledo lineup, and Claude Noel, who after playing with the Diggers last year returns in a Wings uniform.
That's exactly right, Glenn. Don Murdoch for the Toledo Goaldiggers, making his only third appearance so far this year. He's a cagey veteran. He's a first-round draft choice for the New York Rangers in the 70s. He has some playoff experience. Pete Mahavlich is going to rely on him a lot to teach some of the youngsters about pressure and how to handle it going into the Turner Club playoff spot, like you said, against Kalamazoo. For Claude Noel on the other side, he just left Toledo 2 months ago, and he's making his first appearance back. He's well-known around here. He's a cagey veteran, European experience. He knows this rink well and the fans well. Kalamazoo will be using his experience in this arena to guide their people to maintain that third and final playoff spot.
We keep talking about the playoff spot. We've reached the midway point of the International Hockey League schedule, and right now the Diggers find themselves trying to climb back into the race with either Indianapolis or, of course, the Kalamazoo Wings. And what a better time to start gaining ground than when you're playing one of your opponents in your home rink.
This is exactly it. Home is a wonderful place for the Goaldiggers this year. They're .500 compared to only .317 or .187 on the road. So this is very comfortable for them to be here. Kalamazoo, on the other hand, they've won 4 of the last 5 meetings against the Toledo Goaldiggers, so they'll be looking forward to making a clean sweep here and getting into the playoffs.
Coming up next, we have starting lineups. Please stay with us as we have the Toledo Goaldiggers hosting the Kalamazoo Wings.
The twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the rampart we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red flare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
We welcome you back to the sports arena. Glenn Cerny along with Perry Braun, where the Diggers are getting ready to face off against the Kalamazoo Wings. And Perry Braun, why don't we take a look at the lineups right away?
In goal, we got for the Kalamazoo Wings, Georges Gagnon. He's having an excellent record against Toledo. We got Bookaboom and Anderson on defense, Noel, Lou, and Meadmore on the wings.
And for the Toledo Goaldiggers, a change. Mark Chiamp, who is in his first night as a Goaldigger, will be starting. Ethier and Mayer on defense. Mahavlich, winged by Driscoll and Bernie, as we are underway at the sports arena. Big game for Toledo. We're in the Kalamazoo zone. Brought out Claude Noel. Familiar name, of course, to Goaldigger fans. Mayer takes it away. It's back down center ice. Driscoll will dump it in to the Kalamazoo zone. Settled by Gagnon. They bring it back up ice. Making the turn, trying to maneuver there is Aurelio. Broken up back into the Kalamazoo zone. Retreating. Bukaboom trying to hold him off. We got a player taken down as Bernie went down. No call on the play, and it'll come back to Bukaboom. Working on the right side, goes into the middle. At the red line, will dump it in. Mark Champ watching, sends it around behind his net. Picked up. Well, Mahavlich lets it slide through. Driscoll had it briefly. It's up into the bench, and showing us he's still got some moves over there is Mike Greeter, the assistant coach. Perry, there we get a good illustration of the importance of this game to Toledo.
Certainly true, Glenn. This is why Toledo must win and get a 3 or 4 game winning streak like Coach Mahavlich was speaking of. As you'll see in our first intermission interview, they're 8 points behind Kalamazoo right now with 3 games in hand Kalamazoo has on them. This is an 8-point game for them.
We are underway. Murdoch getting his first shift here for Toledo. It goes wide. Champ watching. Back around behind. Davey for the Goaldiggers. Tried to send it around. Could not. It's controlled by Bill Terry. Terry trying to work out. Terry pops a shot and scores on Mark Champ. Bill Terry, 4th leading scorer in the IHL, makes it 1-0.
Bill Terry, all he's doing, I think Johnny Murdoch is trying to shadow him, and Bill Terry is just a little too quick for him. I think Johnny Murdoch still might be hurting from his injury. Steps out right around, and Mark Champ's first shot is in the back of the net between his legs. Kalamazoo going up 1-0.
Almost looked like it went off Mark Champ's skate there to deflect.
It looked like it. He might be a little nervous in here, and that could be understandable. It's a big game for him. He wasn't scheduled to start, but now it's putting Toledo down 1-0.
John Franzosa was injured during warm-ups. We are underway. Here's Falkenberg. He'll put it down low. Murdoch and Long on the wing, or on the forward line now for Toledo with Falkenberg on top. Waddell dumps it back in. Controlled off onto the side. Here comes Kalamazoo working up ice quickly. Nichols was there. We get an offside call.
One thing I'm sure Coach Peter Mahavlich was a little bit concerned about was trying to get his team fired up for this game, attack them in their own arena, and get the first goal. As we are looking at our stat sheet that we get from Matt Zalakis, we noticed that Toledo has scored 56% of their goals this month in the 3rd period, while the opposition has scored 88% of their goals in the first 2 periods.
Officials, Ken Wheeler, the referee, Kevin Flood, and John Pearson, the 2 linesmen. We are underway once again, and it's knocked into the Toledo zone. Behind the net, comes out onto the side, tipped away. Here come the Diggers. Aldred in control at the red line, lifts it up into the air. It'll bounce off the glass behind the net of Kalamazoo. The Wings try to move it back up ice. Anderson had it to the blue line. It's regained by Aldred in his own end. Makes the big turn, starts moving it up ice. Aldred carries it right down the middle, walks by a couple, sets it over onto the side. Backhand shot by Bernie. And Gagnon was able to hold on to it, get it off to the defenseman, and it's turned back the other way. McMichael will dump it in for the Wings. Ethier slams it against the board, can't clear it. Shot taken, goes wide on the play. Again, Driscoll watching as McMichael will pick it up, set right up in front, cleared off the doorstep by Mahavlich. Up with it again, moving. Mayer leaves it off. Driscoll will dump it in. We get line changes for the Diggers. Mahavlich back doing some hawking as it's Noel. Claude Noel carries it across and then gets clobbered. Get a little more bumping on the play. Sent back out to the neutral zone. Retreating there, Bill Schaffhauser slams it against the board. We get a 2-line pass called against the wing.
Good job by Toledo picking up the pace again. Bill Terry, Claude Noel, they're very strong down the middle, Kalamazoo, with good speed. Billy Inglis, once a Toledo native here, last time they won the Turner Cup. Now he's down at Kalamazoo, hoping trying to get them the same success as he had here.
General manager and coach. Kind of nice. Tough to fire himself then, isn't it?
It certainly is.
Pete Mahavlich on the face-off with Claude Noel. And it's dropped off onto the side wing. Send it back out of the zone. Davey retreats with it to his own blue line. Back to Waddell, just named to the All-Star team. And our congratulations to Don, the captain of the Diggers, brings it up ice. Still with it in possession, gets stood up after he passes the blue line. Tutt will wind it around. It hits the boards. Karam's out. Set up in front. Deflected just wide by Del Cole. Del Cole again tries to put it up in front. Can. It's cleared. Up ice. Schaffhauser goes to Meadamore. They move it into Noel. Noel being watched. Still with it. Shot taken. It'll go wide. Rebound. Karam's off the board. Knocked back out. Sent out to center ice. Schaffhauser puts the touch on it in his own end. Lifts it up into the air. It'll go long. Should get an icing call when Lawn touches it. We do, and we'll retreat back into the Kalamazoo zone for the face-off.
Still very important for Toledo. Get even up here. 1-1 for Georges Gagnon. He's had quite a successful task against Toledo so far this year, Glenn.
He's won 4 and lost none. Can't do much better. As we take a look at Gagnon from McGregor, Ontario. He's got a goals against average of 3, a saves percentage of 87%. It's behind him right now as Wayne Crawford has it, sends it off onto the side. Crawford almost got it back. Mayer with it for Toledo. Back on the side to Falkenberg, intercepted on a good play. As Terry was there, he's got the lone goal of the game. Terry will wind it around the boards. Falkenberg on the near side, trying to work it. Sends it up onto the blue line, can't clear it. Shot taken, gets by Champ, but it'll go wide. Again, Diggers trying to clear it out. Murdoch working on the side with Mayer. Terry backhands it, knocked down by the defense. And again picked up by Murdoch. 3-on-2, Goaldigger break. Murdoch gets it off to Falkenberg on the left wing. Comes back onto the side, believe it's Lawn. Lawn tried to move it across, could not. Along the blue line, Lawn holds it in. Set along behind, picked up by the wings again. They'll go to the far side where it's controlled by Anderson. Anderson gives it to Terry. Terry slaps it against the board. It'll carry him behind, and Mark Champ looking a little shaky there as he lost his footing. Mayer takes it. Mayer again puts it behind. Be controlled on the far side by Toledo's Davey. Sets it out, a bouncer. Schaffhauser in his own end. He's got Davies with him. Driscoll trying to do some hawking for Toledo. They fire it off onto the far side. Taken there by Davies. Checked on the play. Driscoll breaks in. Driscoll pulled down from behind. Following the play, Davey is shot. Knocked down by the defense. Picked up again by the Diggers. They get the extra man on the ice. Retreating with it, Davey. Davey has it Karam, and it almost goes into the net. Tipped finally by Kalamazoo in a very dangerous situation. A bit of embarrassment. If that one would have deflected in, it would have counted.
How would you call that, though? It went off a Kalamazoo player. This is where the rules are kind of funny here. When they can carry him off, technically you should touch the puck. Here, number 5 for Kalamazoo, Brian Tutt pulls down the breaking Steve Driscoll, and all that's really set up by Toledo aggressively forechecking again, playing through the man, creating their own opportunities. It's one thing they did not do on Sunday. I'm sure Peter Mahavlich, all through the 2 days of rest, stressed to the Toledo Goaldiggers, we've got to get back to our basic philosophy of hockey. Control the corners, control the board, take the puck to them.
Tutt called on the play for hooking. The goal, incidentally, Terry unassisted. It's the first Toledo Goaldigger power play of the evening. They're 23.7% coming into tonight's game. Kind of strange, they're almost at 30% for the month of January. Mahavlich in his own end, they're trying to bottle him up there. As Claude Noel, we heard he would do the penalty killing, turns and pops a shot up into the rafters, and it bounces out of the rink. Meanwhile, Kalamazoo is killing all but 20% of their power play or penalty killing situations. Shorthanded, they're 38 of 187. Brian Tutt, 2 minutes for hooking in the penalty box. He's got 142 remaining on that penalty.
And there's Champ, just got in from the Atlantic Coast League on loan with the release of Mario Peru. It's important for Kalamazoo to keep doing what they did here so far in this penalty. Keep it going east-west instead of north-south, bottling up the Toledo Goaldiggers, who have, as you said, done very well so far the month of January.
Knocked back out to the neutral zone. Kalamazoo retreating, dumps it back in. Don Waddell watches as Lawn gets it. Get it back to Waddell. Don goes to the safety of his net. Holding behind. Still waiting. Starts up ice now. No one on him, so he'll go coast to coast. Gives to Mahavlich. Mahavlich carries it in. Loses it right near the blue line. Falkenberg, a nice job keeping it alive. Back over to Mahavlich on the side. Working Lawn. Hits to Falkenberg. Falkenberg a shot. Rebound bounces right back out. Cleared the length of the rink. Champ skates out. Settles it. Still waiting for it. Now we'll feed it off to Don Waddell. Waddell will roll behind the net. Waddell waiting there. Don comes out right side. Waddell off to Mahavlich. Mahavlich carries it to the red line. Will bring it in. No one on him, so he'll carry it to the top of the circle. Set it in front for Falkenberg, and he couldn't quite get control of it. 44 seconds left in the Toledo power play. Don Waddell being watched by Bill Terry. Waddell puts the brake on at the circle in his own end. Still being harassed, this time by Crawford. Finally, Driscoll will start it up ice. Loses an edge and has to come back and regain possession. Terry on him again. Driscoll moving it up ice. Moves it up. Ethier at the blue line. Drops it behind. Trying to work on the side. Move it over to Aldred. Aldred on top. Shot taken. Goes wide. It'll come to Don Waddell at the point left side. Loops the bouncer back in. Glove by Gagnon. And will face off with 9 seconds remaining in that Toledo power play.
Don Waddell very dangerous on the power play for Toledo. This way, Bill Terry stayed on top. I'm sure that's the concern of Bill Inglis. He wants anybody near Don Waddell to put a lot of pressure on Waddell. 8 power play goals so far, one of the tops in the league.
Anybody needs a shortstop, the way that George's Gagnon picked up that short hop, you may have one there. Goes back to center ice. Ethier retreating. Should kill the penalty. 3 seconds left. Working it back in. Gagnon sets it out. Toot will hold it in. Glove down on the play. Terry starts up ice. Terry slowed up from behind by shot taken. It'll go high and wide. McMichael will hold it in. Sends it down to Terry behind. He gets crunched this time. Toot wasn't going to let him move around like he did last time. Aldred carries it up ice. Aldred comes in. A shot saved by Gagnon. On a nice play by Aldred as he just kept control and went around, and we saw him score a goal very similar like to that last Sunday afternoon.
Going back, an even better play just before that was Driscoll, who did the pick at the play. It's much like a basketball. Good shot. He got a little hook from behind, which kind of took a little steam off by Schaffhauser. But better yet, Toledo is clearing the alleys away for the centerman or the puck handler entering the middle zone to go down the boards. That's what they didn't do last time. They're flat-footed on their feet this time, and it's important to watch. Watch for the pitch at the blue line, trying to spring somebody on the wide side.
Face-off, dribbles toward the goal crease, and Gagnon taking no chances. He looked up and saw big, and I do mean big, Pete Mahavlich coming in on him, and he said, this guy's got enough experience to beat me.
And old Peter puck's a little loose. He's just doing anybody who's looking for a goal would do, and just trying to knock the puck out of there.
Face-off again will take place to the right of Gagnon. Mahavlich will take it for Toledo. Pete getting ready to take the face-off there against Easter. It's held in by Mahavlich. Bounces back off as Tutt took it in the chest and it caromed out. Davey retreats, gives to Don Waddell. Waddell looking things over, gets hung up, got it back out to center ice. Wings will have to move on side. They wind it behind the board. Champ settles it in front, gives back to Davey. Working, still waiting to Waddell. Waddell on the left wing, loops it long, just gets it out of the zone. Tutt back to the blue line, controlled again. Knocked in now. Here come the Diggers. They give it to Don Waddell, trailing the play. Shot knocked down by the defense. The rebound will be cleared back out into the Toledo zone. Mahavlich chasing after it, leaves it for Davey. Davey behind his own net. Back to Pete. Can't find him. Shot taken. Champ this time knocks it to the corner. Waddell there. Will pick it up again. Waddell up the middle. Dribbles it ahead. Back to Waddell. They drop it in. De Palma getting his first shift for Toledo. Number 22, Del Cole, and De Palma try to tie it up. It bounces loose, and the Wings move it up ice. Working ahead. Tutt will dump it in. Champ settles it, gives to Waddell. Waddell being watched by Meadamore. And here comes Don Waddell, carrying it up, backhands it up into the slot area, and again controlled. Schaffhauser there. Falkenberg trying to battle for it. Moving in, trying to help out is Boothaboom. Still trying to break loose. Falkenberg does, and it finally rolls behind the net. Anderson there for the Wings. Back out to center ice. Ethier for Toledo. Bad Ethier hits the blue line. Caroms it off of Meadamore. Falkenberg watching along with Murdoch. They get it at the blue line. Lawn sends it back in. Don Murdoch charges in after it. Working behind the net. Wings send it back out. Mayer controls. Mayer to Ethier. Ethier still backpedaling, top of the circle in his own end, sets it out ahead. Lawn couldn't control it. Ethier at the red line, this time dumps it in. Karams off a wing player. Meadamore picks it up on the near side. Behind his net. Gives it on the side. Working there, Bukaboom tries to feed it out on top. I believe it's Noel. Claude Noel trying to get around. Does. Noel shoots and scores, and we saw the skating ability of Claude Noel as he just weaved his way down ice and makes it 2-0 Kalamazoo.
Only his 6th goal so far this year, but once again, what a move he put on Mayer at the blue line. Shifted him one way, went back the other way, came in, great shift on Champ, and there's really not a whole lot a goaltender can do here. Noel, great shift right here, caught Mayer challenging instead of staying back, and you can't do that with a cagey veteran like Noel. And he just dumps it past the six, the sprawling Champ. It's only his 6th goal this year, but the way he's wheeling the deal, and he's going to get a lot more in the future to Kalamazoo.
Assist number 20, Neil Marilliou. Marilliou will pick up number 26. One assist. The other assist will go to Bill Schaffhauser as it's 2-0 Kalamazoo. Toledo trying to clear it off the doorstep. They do, up to Driscoll. Driscoll on the left wing. Driscoll feeds it over onto the right side, hits the board. Going in after it, Bernie in the corner. Takes a check. Bernie still digging for it, trying to come up with it. Gets away from him. Bill Terry sends it long, wants to feed it on the side, finds Crawford, drops it again. Moving in on the play is Nichols. Nichols checked off. And Davey will up it to Aldred. Aldred brings it 3-on-2. Aldred hits the blue line. Driscoll had to hold up there, and the pass goes by him. Again, Nichols behind the net. Kalamazoo trying to break out of their own end. Ethier picks it up. Ethier ahead. Bernie to Driscoll. Driscoll sidestepping Aldred there, and Nichols will give to Terry. Terry picks up a line mate. Carries it in, drops it behind. Nichols shot, stopped by Champ, and he'll hang on. De Palma standing a man up. And we get some pushing and shoving. John De Palma just joining Toledo today as well.
From the Continental League, from Troy Sabres. I believe that's in Troy in Michigan, I think. I'm not really sure in the Continental League. He's only been out a couple times, but he's playing with a hell of a veteran out there, Peter Mahavlich.
2-0 as they get ready for the face-off. Penalty called on Nichols and Aldred, I believe.
Nichols adding to his 169 penalty minute total, 3rd in the league, behind an injured and not playing tonight, Chris McSorley for the Toledo Goaldiggers.
A long way behind Christopher, though. Get some net repair on the other end. Will remain 5-on-5 with the coincidental penalties. On top, shot taken and kicked out as right away they try to test Champ. Anderson did the honors. Move it back around. Nisker, a shot taken. It goes behind the net. Check on the play. As De Palma's there, Ethier tries to kick it out. De Palma still battling for it in the corner and will face off again in the Toledo zone.
One thing I think Kalamazoo is doing real well right now, they're putting a lot of pressure on the Toledo defense, hemming them in. The defense for Toledo are the initial rush getters. They have to go north-south with the puck, but they're not getting the puck to the man on the board, over to the middle and out of the zone crisply because Kalamazoo is doing a fine job forechecking. The result, a lot of shots from the point on Kalamazoo on net testing Champ.
Face-off in the Toledo zone. Mahavlich working against Nisker. Shot taken by Anderson, and it caroms out. We got a player getting up very slowly. It's Nichols. He's hurt. You know, it doesn't take a great coach to figure out what Toledo's up against here, losing John Franzosa when he got hit hard during warm-ups. You got a guy that doesn't know his defenseman, hasn't played with the team, hasn't worked out really with the team, and on the other end, you got a guy that's 4-0 against you.
I think more importantly, I think Champ doesn't really know the angles, the lighting, the situation inside, the little nuances of the Toledo sports arena like Francoso would. As you said, it's a big game for him. He understands the pressure, and I think he's doing that just a bit too much, putting a little too much pressure on himself.
We are underway. We swing it back onto the side. Here comes Mahavlich. Mahavlich will dump it in for Toledo. Retreating into the corner. Bukaboom sends it off onto the near side. They try to clear it there. They send it long. Icing will be called. No, it's picked up by Nisker. He sets up right in front, scores. As he sat there, red light went on. Nisker, I don't know if he realized it was in or not, and came around, and some of the diggers taking exception to that. But there again, Nisker just sat in front of Mark Chiamp and old marionette there. Make him do what you want.
Again, it's another centerman who's put the puck in the net for Kalamazoo. He walked right out in front and just slammed it up top over the shoulder, Mark Champ. Champ's a small goaltender, so he's going to get beaten a lot like that up high because he can't cover quite the net that Francoso would. Nisker, only his 15th goal this year so far. But once again, it's the people down the middle that are doing the job at Kalamazoo.
It's 3-0. Man behind the Toledo net. Knocks up ahead. Mayer starts moving it ahead. Back out to the center. Falkenberg put the touch on it but couldn't control it. Retreating. Knock it up against the boards. Lawn sets it to Falkenberg. Tries to move in with it and just dribbles off the end of the stick. Aureliou moves it to Noel. Noel already with 1 goal tonight. Sends it into the corner. Mayer takes a bump but will control. Mayer sets it up onto the side. Tud a shot. Karams wide on a deflection. Falkenberg along the near board. Left wing. Falkenberg to center. Hits Murdoch. Murdoch fans on it. It'll be picked up again by the wings. Tut dumps it back in. It'll be picked up by Mayer. Mayer makes the turn. Starts it up ice again. Mayer in his own end again as he makes the big turn. They get a line change. Fernie will break up. Fernie pops the shot. Glove by Gagnon. Tip back out. Center ice. Control there. Davey and Waddell retreat now as Crawford carries it in. Crawford with 53 points. We're going to get a penalty called on Bernie for a hook. And this isn't what Pete Mahavlich's Diggers need at this point, going to the shorthanded situation for the next 2 minutes. 6:20 to go.
Although they're doing a good job of killing penalties, 79% of them, they don't really want to give the Kalamazoo K-Wings an opportunity to score another goal, going up 4-0. It's just one of those penalties where you're coming back and stop Bernie, just getting a little hook around the shoulder to stop him getting the puck, allowing Don Waddell one more time to get at the puck and start out of his zone. Like you said, though, they're down 3-0 already. They don't want to give Kalamazoo an opportunity to go up 4-0.
Need to kill this penalty here as 2 seconds go off. We had a man moving early, so we'll face off again. 6:18 left to play. Scott Fernie, there you see him, 2 minutes for hooking. 6:18 to go in the first period. And the Kalamazoo Wings up 3-0 here. Goals by Terry, Nisker, and Claude Noel. Here's Mahavlich working against Terry on the face-off. Pete's able to send it behind. Davey tees it up, can't clear it across the blue line. Held in nicely by Anderson. Comes to the near side. Working there, Bukaboom gives back. It's Anderson. Looking for Terry. Shot by Crawford goes wide. Rebound behind the net. Davey chasing after it. Terry will get to it first, but Anderson holds it in at the point. Back again. Terry makes the turn. Wanted to make the circle with Nichols. Nichols picks it up along the board. Davey pressuring him. Terry in trying to help out. Bounces loose. Mahavlich picks it up. Pete starts it up ice. Mahavlich controlling it here. Down a man. Toledo will eat up the clock. Mahavlich gets around. Pops a shot. Rebound. Loose and covered up on by Gagne. But a nice bit of hockey there by player coach Pete Mahavlich, showing us he's still got some of the wily old moves.
Great job by the KG veteran there. He's just wheeling it coast to coast. Great shift on Bukaboom, then on Anderson, going right around him. He just quite couldn't get enough muscle on it as Bukaboom came back and got a little stick on the puck as the shot was going up. But once again, great job by Mahavlich, showing the strength that he has for that lanky, tall body of his and why he lasted 14, 15 years in the NHL.
Want to know what size and strength will do for you?
Speed isn't everything. It's what you do, it's what you have, all the tools you have.
Aldred chatting. Trying to get signals squared away. 1:16 remaining on the Kalamazoo power play. 5:36 left to play here in period number 1 from the sports arena. Face off, controlled by Aldred. Aldred controlling along the board again, just trying to eat up some time as much as anything. Aldred at the red line. He takes a hit and falls down, regained by the wings. McMichael on the near board, intercepted. Nice play by Aldred, puts it up into the air and sends it long. Chasing after it again is Tutt. Tutt brings it around onto the side. Davies intercepted again. Aldred having a good shift here, killing the penalty. Finally going to be brought up. Shot taken, saved by Champ. Toot sends it out. Going to be held in by Tutt. Schaffhauser at the circle, puts it right in front. They try to go behind. Champ deflected it once, falls down, trying to get control of it as it bounced out on top. Schaffhauser, a shot goes wide. Rebound, Toot, a shot goes wide. Comes back out to the Diggers. And again, the man that's causing problems, Aldred, sends it out of the zone. 20 seconds left in the power play. Get by one. McMichael, a shot, goes wide. Toot, set in front, shot, score on a power play. As picking up his second straight goal is Laurie Nisker. And it's 4-0 on a power play goal.
Tim pinning up his 16th goal this time. And all it was McMichael just throwing the puck blindly in front of net. One of the things the coaches don't like to see. But Nisker, nifty little move back out in the slot, left all alone. As you see Johnny Murdoch coming in late. Champs down on the ice, top shelf for the Chiefs. Making the score 4-0. Nisker's 16th goal of the year. Once again, the centerman for Kalamazoo, putting the fourth of 4 goals in so far. Great job up the middle they have.
I look at my line chart, and it's certainly dotted down the middle. Face-off, both teams at full strength. A good driving shot by Lawn, stopped by Gagnon, and it comes back out. Murdoch at the red line, puts it down into the corner. Working it around, trying to control over there. Bukaboom, one of the captains of this team. Noel drops it back. Moving up ice for it is Harlan. He puts it in behind. Mayer for Toledo, behind his own net. Mayer makes the turn, waiting, gets action again out in front as those forwards continue to turn, and it's finally picked up by Lawn. Lawn puts it up along the board, picked up by Murdoch. Murdoch will carry it into the zone. Murdoch has it poked, able to hold on to it, sets it off onto the side, controlled briefly by Driscoll, back to Lawn. Lawn tried to set it up, shot by Don Waddell, had Gagnon beat, but couldn't hit the corner. Lawn holds it in at the corner. Murdoch going in after it. Check on the play, it'll be held in by Waddell, puts it in. They had a screen in front, but it's knocked down by the defense, and the Wings will get out of that jam. Arilwin leaves it back for Noel. Noel picks it up, line changes for the Wings. They put it back into their own end. Up ice again is Bukaboom. Center ice picked up by Noel. Noel moving in front. Nichols takes a hit from Mayer, and up with it is Don Waddell. Waddell moves in, held up at the blue line, offside Toledo, with 3:04 remaining in the first period.
So I think some of the things Toledo must do, they must continue to play the man and force the opportunities to happen. Here we have, watch Murdoch in front of the net, just picking out the goaltender. I'm not sure if he really meant to or not, but he's always dangerous, especially in the NHL, getting rebound goals, going in front of the net, going around net, picking up the loose puck.
Well, if you don't get caught, he didn't mean to, right? Face off. And Crawford, actually, if you don't get caught, you meant to. If you do get caught, you didn't mean to. Here we go with the Diggers trying to send it out. They put it long, chasing back after it, Schaffhauser. Schaffhauser sets it up into the middle of the rink. Off it goes. Crawford trying to chase, but Davey will beat him to it. Davey goes behind the net. Tried to set it behind. Crawford picks it back up, put it in front. No one there to pick it up. Falkenberg for Toledo. Falkenberg moves up ice. Falkenberg off onto the side, breaking in. Aldred, I believe it was, and he put it just wide as it was held onto. Toot, he puts it toward the net, deflected again as Gagnon is able to stop everything Toledo's put at him thus far. Along the near side, working with it, Falkenberg loses control of it, brought back out, and De Palma picks it up for Toledo. Waits for everyone to move on side, didn't wait quite long enough, touched finally by the Toledo Goaldiggers Aldred, and offside is called.
Still a good job by Toledo coming after him and playing the man. I think in that 5-10 minutes first there, they weren't continuing to play the man, letting Kalamazoo free will in the center ice area and getting the puck to the middle, which seems to be their strongest point thus far this game.
The newest member, one of the new members, I shouldn't say newest, John DePalma, Trenton, Michigan. Actually, since he arrived at the arena after Mark Champ, I guess he would be the newest member of the Diggers. Fired off onto the side. Nisker, nice job to Davies. Davies drops it back again. Nisker working it, sets it out on the near side. Bukaboom puts a shot toward net. It'll bounce behind. Mahavlich going after it with Nisker. They ride into the boards together, trying to freeze it up. Ethier there. Still no whistle on the play. Finally, they sound it and will face off to the right of Mark Champ. I saw what had to be the highlight of Mark Champ's college career in Michigan when Spartak of Russia came into Yost Arena and he got the win.
And I believe you'll remember that much more than you'll remember this first period so far.
I'll guarantee you that. Actually, he may remember this first period more, but not as fondly, of course. DePalma moves alongside. Waddell picks it back up. Onto the side, Ethier. Ethier sends it ahead. It's dropped in. Brought back out. McMichael breaking in. Lawn trying to come back and cover up on the play. Tips it away. Waddell up with it. Don getting ahead of steam at the red line. Carries it in. Shot deflected wide. Rebound again going after it. Bukaboom and Waddell. Driscoll gloves it down. Touches it to avoid the hand pass, and it's sent down the middle of the rink where once again Davey will back up. We are under a minute to go in the first period. Lawn on the short hop, couldn't get it. Schaffhauser does. Drops it behind. Terry trying to go onto the far side. Davey going to try to freeze it up there. 48 seconds left in the period. Knocked loose. Shot put toward the net. And Chiamp will sit on it. Sets it off behind. Again controlled by Driscoll. Sent long. Going after it. Lawn. Held in by Murdoch. Can't pick it up on the short hop either. And it's turned back again the other way with Tutt. Tutt puts it off onto the side. Mayer chases it down. Knocked off the goal. Regained. Put up into the air. Arililou sets it in front. Shot taken. Knocked wide by Chiamp. Diggers try to clear it out. 14 seconds. Shot again. Mayer knocks it down. Another shot goes wide on the play by Meadamore. Meadamore behind the net. Sets it back up in front. 5 seconds left. Pumped again. Chiamp with the stop. Break it out on top. Noel at the buzzer, wanted to shoot, held up when he heard the buzzer. And we've gone through one. And you got to feel a little bit for Mark Chiamp. He literally joins the team. John Franzosa falls down, takes a hit, and the goalie that was supposed to start does not. Mark Chiamp pressed into action, and you see some of the action he saw in the first period.
Good way to finish the period off here, off of Arililou. Right here, and gets up, and there's one thing this kid always can do. He's a fighter, and he's a good-spirited kid. He's got good reflexes and a good eyesight, and he's just being pounded here with a puck after puck after puck for the last minute, and he shows he's got a lot of character here, and he just keeps going all the time. Here we see Noel off to Arililou, all alone again, and although we've talked about Champ here, letting in this goal or a bad one here, he really hasn't had the defensive help that he should have, being his first time in since he got off the plane.
And as we said, the last thing that Mark Champ needed to do would be to get in that crease and then all of a sudden see Claude Noel breaking in. We're going to pause here and hope you'll stay with us. Our score at the end of the first period of play, the Kalamazoo Wings 4, the Toledo Goaldiggers 0. From the Toledo Sports Arena, our score at the end of the first period of play, the Kalamazoo Wings 4 and the Toledo Goaldiggers 0. Before the start of tonight's game, Perry Braun chatted with Pete Mahavlich on the importance of tonight's contest.
And my first intermission guest is Coach Peter Mahavlich. Coach, a tough weekend this past weekend. They did play well, but they only came away with one victory. Now we're getting to the second half of the season and the playoffs are coming up. How do you get your boys up for this game and the rest of the games towards the end of the season?
Well, one of the things that they have to really be aware of, that we're still in the hunt of a playoff spot if we can put 3 or 4 games together. And one of the teams that we really have to concern ourselves with is Kalamazoo, and we've got to play well against Kalamazoo for the rest of the year and some of the teams that are just ahead of us, so that we can climb up the ladder. They're all 4-point games from here on in, and hopefully we'll come to play every night.
We have a lot of coaches out there that will be watching the telecast. What do you tell them to motivate their kids as their own teams are fighting for playoff spots?
Well, I think one of the things I think the youngsters should do is, first of all, go out there and enjoy themselves. If they feel that there's a lot of pressure and put on them, I don't think they'll perform to their capabilities. And I think if the kids go out there and have some fun and really enjoy the game, they'll play better.
And naturally, all the work is on the ice, but there is a lot of fun off the ice also. And recently, you guys partake in a lot of activities outside of hockey that occupy a lot of your time, you yourself included. One such event was Special Olympics. Your thoughts on that?
Well, I think any time you can get involved with people involved with Special Olympics, I think it's great. Everybody says, "Oh, isn't that great that you're doing that?" And people don't realize how much benefit we get from it and the enjoyment that we get from it. You come away feeling good, and you really realize how fortunate you are to be able to do the things that you can do. And when you get those opportunities, it really is a fine, warm feeling.
The event was a Special Olympics on January 14th at Tam O'Shanter. Our camera's there to show the smiling faces. It is a wonderful time. Glenn certainly narrated this piece.
I'm Glenn Cerny, and in between periods of tonight's Toledo Goaldigger hockey game, we thought we'd show you something a little different. The rough-and-tumble style of a hockey player is quite evident just by watching a few moments of a Toledo Goaldigger game. Usually while on the ice, there just aren't enough halos to go around the entire team. Yet even with the game of hockey, and especially the nomadic life of the minor leaguer, there's a side of the player that is not always seen. A desire to reach out and even make this temporary home a little bit better. We thought you might enjoy watching a few moments of one of those special times when the talented athlete tries to help someone a little less fortunate. It was the afternoon of January 14th at Tam O'Shanter when the Diggers welcomed some of the participants from the Lucas County Special Olympics. Chris McSorley even proved to be a bit of a soft touch when a few of the 60 or so who came out to skate with the team got around him. An isolated incident is the conclusion one might try to jump to, but then the very next day the team was at it again at the Northwest Developmental Center for another afternoon of teaching, listening, and sharing. A coach's dinner here, another clinic there, all sandwiched in between long bus rides, practices, quick meals, and games. Why? Perhaps because it gives the players some perspective and meaning to their life. To paraphrase head coach Pete Mahovlich after this day with the Special Olympians at Tam O'Shanter, sometimes I think the team gets more out of this than the kids do. The Toledo Goaldiggers, an asset to the community? You bet. As you can see, Digger Mania comes in many forms and is won in many ways. We'll be back with more Toledo Goaldigger hockey. And we welcome you back to the Toledo Sports Arena and our telecast of Goaldigger hockey tonight on Channel 5A. I'm Glenn Cerny. In between periods this evening, we have the opportunity to chat with someone who's finally starting to skate again with the Goaldiggers. Don Murdoch, first of all, welcome to our telecast, and your feelings on finally getting some ice time again.
Well, Glenn, it's kind of hard when you miss about 10, 12 games here, and then I came back, played a couple games with Toledo. I played 2 games, got injured in the second game, and then I missed another 3 weeks. So tonight I'm kind of looking forward to it, coming out here and hope I can help the club get a win.
Can't think of a better time to return. You've got Kalamazoo in, fighting for a playoff spot, want to get back, put a couple wins together, and hopefully get back in that race. Your feelings on where the Goaldiggers stand right now with the Turner Cup playoffs?
Well, we've got to realize, okay, it's late January. We got to start getting ready for playoffs. I think we're 6 or 7 points behind Kalamazoo. We're in our own building. This is a 4-point game for us tonight. Either we move 2 points closer to them or we lose 2 points back towards them. So tonight is definitely a big game for us tonight.
Don't mean to make you out to look like the old man here, but you're not fresh out of school. You've had quite a bit of time in HL around the juniors and, of course, in minor as well. Your role on this team has to be a little different than one of the young guys coming up and trying to move ahead.
Well, definitely it is. That was the deal when Peter Mahovlich tried to get a hold of me. When I had retired earlier in the season, I was in Detroit for about 3 weeks to a month, and Peter called me. He says, Donnie, look, because we played together in Detroit and Adirondack. He says, can you give me a hand here? He says, I'm having a hard time getting these kids motivated. I would like you to come down here and see if I can, you know, spark a plug under these guys, and hopefully I can help them in practice and on the ice, maybe a little leadership.
Good to see Don Murdoch back with a uniform on and skates working around the ice. Good luck to you and the Goaldiggers here as you push on for the Turner Cup playoff spot.
Thanks a lot, Glenn.
We'll be back with more.
With John Francosa, #1 goaltender of the Toledo Goaldiggers. John, all CAC goaltender, unsung hero, most valuable player. Your impressions of college shooters, and then more important, your impressions of the shooters now you're facing in the International Hockey League.
Well, I think the main difference playing down here is there's more quality shooters. In college, each team had maybe, you know, 1 or 2 gunners, and they relied on them to get most of their points. Whereas down here, the teams seem to have more quality shooters as a whole. Everyone knows how to put the puck in the net, so you always have to be on your toes. Whereas college, there was certain lines out there where you could relax a little bit. You knew they weren't going to get many good scoring opportunities, and when they did, chances are they weren't going to take advantage of them. Whereas down here, as I said, as a whole, most of the guys can put the puck in the net. That's why they're here. You know, in their past, they've been the leading goal scorers on their teams and so forth. So every shot, you know, is a test of one, and they can score from anywhere.
You're now considered #1 goaltender for this team, a team that's going through sort of a dry spell, getting ready for the playoffs, hopefully. How does the pressure affect you, or do you thrive on pressure and hopefully turn that into good energy for you?
I don't believe there's all that much pressure on me. It's not one single person that's going to turn the season around for us. We've been struggling. It seems like we go through spans where we'll play, you know, 2 or 3 solid games and then go in a little drought for 10 games. Right now we're just trying to put a solid effort out every game. We're concentrated mostly on defenses, cut the goals against, because we know we have some good players up front that get the goals when we need them. So I think it's just not that much pressure on me. It's just a solid team effort every night out is what we're looking for right now.
And I'd like to thank John Francosa for being my guest tonight, dropping by. Thank you very much. Good luck to you tonight. And we'll be back with first period statistics right after this.
4-0 our score here in between periods 1 and 2 as the two teams are back on the ice. As we get the long shot and a look at the statistics, and Perry Braun, as you can see, the Wings with the advantage on the total shots. 9 saves for each goaltender, 2 penalties each, and the Wings 1 for 1 in the power play, one of their 4 goals.
And the scoring summary of the first period, Terry, Noel, Niska with 2, all up and down the middle. Center's doing an excellent job for Kalamazoo so far in the first period.
We are underway. Anderson sends it in. Toledo still has 40 minutes to get this one back. Mayer behind the net. Tries to backhand it out, being ridden the entire time. Gets it up to Aldred. Aldred backhands it toward the blue line. Doesn't get it through. Anderson has it. Mayer steals it back. Mayer back to Ethier. Ethier waiting, holding, looking, sets it in. Bernie deflects it. It'll bounce into the zone. Controlled there by Bukaboom. He comes up, puts it against the boards. Aurelio takes a hit, but is able to move it up to Bukaboom. It's shot in, and holding on is Mark Chiamp. And again, I can't really explain the butterflies that must have been in the stomach of Mark Chiamp when he found out he was starting when John Francosa went down injured before the start of tonight's game.
It's so hard for us to sit up here and imagine what was going through his mind when he saw his comrade in the pads go down after receiving a puck, we can only speculate in the head because his bell was rung a bit, and then being thrown into the position of starting what could be the most important game of the year so far for the Toledo Goaldiggers.
A difficult situation, and Toledo trying to make the best of it. Murdoch picks it up. Going behind the net is Don Waddell. Waddell let players sift through. Puts it out onto the right wing. Davies sets it long. Held in. Crawford looking. He's got Terry breaking for the net. Behind the net, Terry takes it. Bounces off the stick. Will come to the near side. Lawn, I believe, sets it out. Here comes Falkenberg. Falkenberg's got it onto the side. Waddell tried to go through a crowd. Had it as he came through and was finally poked away. Don Murdoch in the corner fighting for it. Waddell will pick it up. Don backhands it to Lawn. Lawn moving it back to Waddell. Puts a shot toward the net. In front, Falkenberg trying to set up there. Couldn't get a shot away. Here come the Wings. Nichols picks it up on the near side. Nichols, a shot deflected. Up on the glass. It'll stay in play. Crawford goes behind net. Terry with it. Terry checked on the play. Terry still trying to fight with it. It comes up to Toledo. They put it up ahead, can't clear it, and it's held in by Nichols. Nichols puts it toward the net where it's gained by Waddell over to Murdoch. Murdoch carries it in. Drop pass. Falkenberg, a shot, glove by Gagnon, and he'll hold on.
And George Gagnon, a little quiet of a period. The nine shots that nine saves in the first period weren't real good quality shots on Toledo's part. His goals against average so far for the year is 3.8 or 6, I believe. But more importantly, a 2.15 average so far in 4 games against the Toledo Goaldiggers. 4-0, as you said. He must be feeling very good and very confident when facing the Goaldiggers.
I'll guarantee he feels a lot more comfortable with a 4-0 lead. It's down and moving in. Toot tries to put it backhand into the corner. Working there, De Palma gets checked on the play. It'll be going to be controlled by the wings. Bukaboom sets it up to the blue line and across. Anderson brings it ahead. Anderson carries it to the blue line, still trying to control it. Offsides called. And Davies chatting with Mr. Flood about the line call and having a smile about it.
One thing I find interesting watching these two teams, there are two contrasting styles of forechecking. Kalamazoo kind of like to wait and let you come at them. They sit back and let Toledo come at their defenseman, coughing up the puck, where Toledo forces the play all over the zone. Two contrasting styles by two different coaches, Bill Inglis and Peter Mihaljevic. Both seem to be very effective.
Would I be correct in saying that the wings like to take advantage of their team speed?
I think that'd be a very good assumption.
Mihaljevic sends it in. We're going to get an icing call coming in after it, putting the touch on it. Whistle sounds as Anderson does the honors for the wings. And they do have some speed, as we have seen. Looking up at the scoreboard, wondering, what do I have to do? I can't skate myself twice here.
I'm sure he's very frustrated right now, but...
You know what amazes me, though, is he's got a good sense of humor about him, a very good attitude about it, and it's got to be helpful for some of the younger players to have...
Oh, sure. He's been through games like this before, and I'm sure he's going to go through them again. He's been around 14 years in the NHL, so obviously he's going to try and keep the spirit loose so young kids don't get too dejected.
Along the side, of course, talking to some of the players about some of his practices. Those aren't too loose. Mihaljevic sends it in. It bounces off the stick, going to be controlled by Gagnon as he holds on when he saw Del Cole coming in after him.
I'm sure Coach Inglis would like to see Gagnon keep controlling the puck like that instead of giving the puck away sometimes by being too over-anxious. Just hang on to it, slow the play down. They got a 4-0 lead. There's really no reason to panic at all and get more goals.
17:25 left to go in the second period. Face off. Mihaljevic. And from up here, it looks like Nisker getting some ice repairs.
I think Coach Mihaljevic is explaining to the linesman that, hey, I'm 14 years in the NHL.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be on that side of his line. My guy's supposed to be on my side of the line. We can't be cheating all over the ice here.
These aren't the eyes of a 20-year-old, but let me tell you, they still work. Nichols had it briefly, couldn't control. It was McMichael, not Nichols. Comes out on top, controlled, put in toward the net by Toot. Boy, they had a man moving up ice, and had Davies been able to control that, it would have been a breakaway for the Wings. Anderson retreating, sets it back out. Center ice, touched on the play. Toot backing up on it, still controlling it, off to Mihaljevic. We're going to get a penalty call on the Wings when they get possession of it. It's sent in, wrapped around the board, and controlled by Gagnon, and we get the penalty being called.
I believe it's on McMichael.
I tell you, Mayer would be wise just to skate away on this one, because the last thing the Diggers need is Pat Mayer following
This is so
McMichael
true.
off the rink.
I believe McMichael, you see 2 minutes for slashing. I believe what happened was Mayer just rolled him out of the play like any good defenseman would do, and he just turned around and retaliated right in front of the Kalamazoo K-wing bench. A 4-0 lead. It's really an opportunity to give the team, the Toledo Goaldiggers, a chance to get back in the game with a power play that has been performing very well in the month of January.
This is their second power play attempt. Face off, Sent into the corner, trying to hold it in is Blossom. And I don't remember saying his name much last period. Blossom gets it out on top. Waddell gets it right back. Cranks a shot into the pads of Gagnon. Murdoch tried to put it back on top. 2-on-1 breakout by the wings. Lawn, nice job coming back on defense. Noel cuts across, shoots, knocked wide by Champ. It'll be cleared by Falkenberg with a little bit of help from Waddell, and here comes Lee Blossom. Blossom gets it off into Murdoch. Murdoch trying to cut through the defenseman, gets taken down, no call on the play. It's cranked against the board. Waddell holds it in briefly. Move it up. Aurelia had a chance to pick it up, but Lowen will go back and retrieve it for the Diggers. Move it out onto the left wing. Back again, right in front. Aurelia, shot, saved by Chiap. Come around by the side, knocked wide again by some help from the defenseman. Waddell was the man making the play. Still in their own end. Lowen trying to control it. Moves it along behind. In the corner, a player falls down, sent out Murdoch. Murdoch will start up ice. Murdoch carries it to the blue line and then drops it in. Cut for the Wings, trying to send it off onto the side. Wings will just send it long, going the length of the rink. No icing as there's 46 seconds remaining in the power play. Don Waddell with the man advantage for Toledo. Sends it in behind the net, controlled again by Gagnon. Again, controlled by Anderson of the Wings, trying to get it clean. They do. Bring it out onto the point. It'll bounce behind the net. Gagnon leaves it again for Bukaboom. Sets it up. Davey cannot hold it in. And it's Waddell to Davey. Off onto the side, working, dropping it in. Driscoll giving chase on the feed from Bernie. Anderson gets there first, puts it off onto the side. Be sent long as Terry guns it the length of the rink. 10 seconds left on the man advantage. In behind, Aldred starts it up ice. Aldred loses it at the blue line to Terry. Terry holding it in. We get a man falling down. Davey, Terry trying to make the move. Finally forced off the play and controlled again by the Goaldiggers. Time expires on that power play, and both teams are now at full strength. Here's Driscoll. Fires it in. Aldred trying to give chase. Going to try to go after Anderson. Bernie cuts him off. Driscoll puts a touch on it. Set it off in front. Shot taken into the pads and held onto by Gagnon.
This is Gold Digger hockey right now. The things they have to do. They have to work in the corner, take the puck to the net. Good job by Aldred and Bernie and Driscoll this time. They control the corners, and more importantly, when they got the puck, they didn't fool around it. They went straight to the net, putting pressure on Gagnon. Earlier, though, a couple of mental mistakes by the power play unit, copying the puck up to Champ, or copying the puck up to Kalamazoo, leaving Champ all by himself, and he made some great saves to keep this game at 4-0. Here's Claude Noel, point-blank range, and that's the quickness of Mark Champ right there. Good job, good technique. He stayed low to the ice and made Noel make the first move.
Face off. Mahavlich put it toward the net. Gagne was there again, as he has been all night thus far. Terry puts a touch on it, comes back to retrieve it from Toot. Terry in his own end. Terry makes the turn. Eludes one. Mahavlich watching him as Terry cuts the other way. They'll put it in ahead. Crawford will put it in deep behind the net. On the far side, Del Cole. Del Cole trying to find De Palma. Mayer cuts a man off. Del Cole will pick it up again along the board. Check behind. Backhand shot. Crawford rebound. Comes back out on top. Held in. Fired by Schaffhauser. Deflected wide. Nichols taken into the board on the play. Along the near side. Controlled again. Knocked up into the air. It'll break clean. Del Cole picks it up. Has to beat Schaffhauser. Sets it in front of the net. Loose. Gagne finally covers up on it.
Good burst of speed by Del Cole there, and that's what Toledo has to continue to do. They can't fool around with the puck. So when they get the puck at the blue line, they got to continue to go at the net with it. Del Cole by himself, Bill Schaffhauser, a good steady defenseman. He just kept his goal, kept the man on the outside, relying on Gagnon to make the save. That's what your goaltender's supposed to do. Make the save from angles like that. Controls the rebound from De Palma. First game here, Jolly on the spot, couldn't break away for the rebound, but good job by Gagnon to smother and control it.
Murdoch on the face-off, trying to put it toward the net. Anderson picks it up for the Wings. Sets it off onto the side. Ethier will be able to help hold it in. Murdoch, a shot taken, glove by Gagnon, and he'll hold on to it off to Davies. Davies makes the turn. Sets it off onto the side, moving up there. Nisker trying to go around Davey. Nisker still tried to control it out in front to center. It couldn't make the play on it. Picked up by Davies. Ethier watching him as Davey picks it up for Toledo. Starts it up ice. Davey at the red line. Gets it in. Lauren will try to give chase with Falkenberg. Falky goes into the boards. Hits hard there. Controlled again by Nisker to Anderson. Anderson sets it up way long. Going after it is Don Waddell. Waddell in his own end. Makes the turn. Stops behind his net. Comes out left side. Bangs it up ahead. Working there. Falkenberg to Lawn. Murdoch waits at the blue line. Lawn tries to move in. Carries it along the board into the corner. Hit from behind. Falkenberg back out on top. Shot taken by Mayer. It'll be knocked down by the defense. Nisker was the man there. Waddell back at the red line. Puts it against the glass. Murdoch dumps it in, and Falkenberg offside with 12:40 remaining in the second period. The score remains 4-0.
The Goaldiggers are continuing to put 2 or 3 good shifts together by going back to the basics. I think Johnny Murdoch, as he said in his interview there, he's got to begin to teach these kids to relax and just play the game. They're playing good fundamentals, playing the man. They're not getting fancy with the puck now. They're just chasing it at the net, and hopefully they'll put a couple of good goals back behind Gagnon.
Face-off back into the Kalamazoo zone. Tutt will fire it in. Driscoll trying to hold off the larger man. Noel tried to slice through. Picked up by Aldred. Aldred on the side. Bernie. Bernie moves it ahead. Bernie loses it at the blue line. Aldred has to retreat and get everyone on side. Waddell to Mayer. Tried to move it in. Intercepted once again by Aurelian. Noel trying to break up with it. Moves down. Driving and slapping at it on a good play. Waddell moves back around behind. Aurelio gives it inside. Behind Waddell. Back to Driscoll. Driscoll against the board. It bounces again behind. Chiamp settles for Mayer this time. Driscoll takes a bounce off the board. Had Noel in front. Couldn't find the handle on it. And again picked up by Toledo in the corner. Don Waddell. Waddell slips as he takes the hit. Gets back up. Fires it to Bernie. Bernie ahead to Aldred. Outman will carry it in. Aldred puts it against the glass and caroms over into the stands and will be facing off.
Again, a lucky fan going after the puck there. Mark Champ having a whale of a second period so far. Much more steady, going back to what we saw him as in college hockey especially.
John Franzosa, we were told earlier, would be able to come back. We understand that he lost consciousness when he got hit in the head. Still is a little dizzy, and he is now unavailable for the rest of the night. So Mark Chiamp is the man in the nets for the rest of today's game. Back on defense now. Blossom has it slide through. Davey will retreat. Davey sets it along, held in by Anderson. Anderson moves it back around onto the near side, working there. Tutt leaves it for Nichols. Nichols shoved off the play by Mahavlich. Moving it up ice. De Palma. De Palma also outmanned. Tried to move to the outside. Comes back to pick it up. Good play. Shovels it onto the side. Trying to get it down with Toot. Could not find it. Mahavlich back to Toot. Toot gives it to Blossom. Blossom to Mahavlich. 3-on-2. Mahavlich gets around one. Shovels it off onto the side. De Palma had broke just a little bit early that time. Mahavlich gets it back. Pete gives it in front. Blossom can't find it, and it'll go back to the other side. Anderson fires off onto the wing. Crawford there. Crawford into the corner. Davey settles it, getting it back. Blossom chases it, can't pick it up. De Palma does. It's a 3-on-2 break again. They go to Lee Blossom. Blossom trying to go around, picked up by Mahavlich, kicked away off the back of the skate of Bookaboom. The Wings move it up. Nichols checked at the blue line as he stood up, gets it right back. Held up there, controlled by Toot. Behind his own net. Moves it ahead. Murdoch got it out of the zone. It's brought immediately back in. Davies will charge after it. Chiamp knocks it back against the board. Up with it again now. Lawn 3-on-3 on the break. Lawn leaves it for Murdoch. Murdoch couldn't get the skate on it to kick it ahead. Now Davies will move it up ice. Bounces it into the zone. Delayed offside. Called off as Lawn. Brings it back out to the neutral zone to Falkenberg. Falkenberg breaks in. Goes down hard against the board. Tries to get up. Whistle sounds. Will face off with 9:38 left to go in period number 2. And our score remaining 4-0. And Perry, Toledo doing a nice job of holding their own here now, but going to have to start thinking about doing more than just breaking even.
Yeah, you're going to start seeing them take more chances. This is what I was saying. When you get the putt, just take it to the net. You're going to create your own opportunities. Unfortunately, Falkenberg went down. But still, he's a big, strong left winger. He should use that size and strength as advantage to take it to the net over some of the smaller defensemen Kalamazoo has.
Murdoch out on top of the lawn as we're back to action. Shot taken, just deflected wide by Falkenberg. Back it goes to Ethier. He'll fire a shot. Kicked out by Gagnon. McMichael out of the circle, far side. Ethier cannot hold it in. It comes back. Davies waiting, makes the turn. Ethier trying to play off of him, pushes him back out. Offside as Tutt has to hold on now. Controlled again. Back over, moving in. Shot taken. It'll bounce behind the net, off the back of the net. There it's again. Grabbed by Davies. Behind, pile up of players. Finally kicked loose. Tutt at the point, tried to move along the blue line, now just sends it back down low. It'll be controlled there by Nisker. Behind the net, again taken by Davies. Davies holding it, circle, feeds it out, deflected by Waddell. Falkenberg back to Don Waddell. Waddell trying to create some excitement, goes to the line and loses it to Tutt. Falling down is Davies as they were trying to make a line change, and Davies got caught in front of his own bench. A tired skater moves along the side, knocked up against the glass. Anderson, did he hold it in? Yes, he did. Fires a shot, knocked down by Falkenberg. Picked up and controlled by Bernie. Bernie brings it up ice. Bernie's got a couple men to help him out, puts it toward the net. It hits the back. Falkenberg up with it. Falkenberg tried to center it, could not. Gets it back. In front, Bernie. Out to Waddell. The shot goes just wide. Waddell will pick it up again. Cranks it into the pad. Falkenberg knocked down in front. Murdoch a shot, and it's jumped on by Gagnon.
Much better by the Toledo Goaldiggers. Put a lot of pressure on to get the puck back to the point. What they're all doing is crashing the net now for the rebounds. Here we see Falkenberg all tied up. Murdoch unable to get the wood on the puck like you'd like to see for a sniper of his caliber. But once again, he was out for a long time on that shift. He was probably just a little tired, having been out of action for 2-3 weeks.
Had a shot at the back of Mike Greeter as he tries to rally the Diggers here. 7:57 remaining in the second period of action here at the Sports Arena. 4-0, Kalamazoo on top. Drop in behind. Davey will hold it in, trying to get it back. No luck on it. Claude Noel comes up. Noel feeds out to Meadamore. It's off the glass. Cairns back to the blue line. Out man. We're going to see what Aldred does here as he gets pulled down on the play by Bukaboom. They want to whistle, and they'll finally get it as it's frozen along the board.
And Aldred saying a few things to the referee about, hey, you know, this ain't a Las Vegas show act. He just hauled me down with a stick. You're not allowed to do that. Bukaboom just getting a stick around the body, around the waist area. I don't know. You can call it at home better than we can up here. 50-50, I'd say.
I don't know. You're doing a pretty good job. Face off. Comes behind the net. Bukaboom there. Trying to decide whether we want to put you in a white jersey or a striped jersey here right now. Send it out long. Slapped in, knocked wide. I'm going to ask Mark Chiamp if he ever stopped you. Up with it, Mayer. Did he?
Every time I shot the puck.
Up ice with it. Driscoll moves in. Sets it in behind. Bukaboom. Waiting. Knocks it out of the zone. And Davey has to wait for his teammates to move on side. Mayer out to Aldred. Aldred waiting. Makes the turn. Aldred knocked by Noel. Up into the air, and Mayer has to come back and get it. Wings will make line changes as the Diggers start moving up. They've got De Palma breaking up ice. De Palma moving in. Fires a shot. Scores! John De Palma in his first game with the Goaldiggers gets a hearty congratulation from his teammates on breaking in. He had to get around Tutt, and I'm sure right now, if Tutt had to do it all over again, he would have pulled the pants down.
Receiving strength by the first game player, De Palma, going in. Watch the power move. This is the way to do it on a breakaway. Get your body around his stick like that so you can get both hands on your stick firmly and get that puck, get that shot off. Wasn't a real hard power shot, but it was at the spot, at the only location you could along the ice. between the stick and the pad again, y'all. 4-1. You could just feel the excitement lift on a good goal by De Palma.
You know, looking at the replay, Tut did just about pull his pants down on it.
Well, that's the way you should do it on a breakaway like that. When a man's coming at you from your one side, shift over that way so you put your body between his stick and your puck so you can get both hands on your stick and get a good hard shot away. Good job on his part also to realize, good communication with him and Mayer to realize there was a line change going on and a good way to capitalize on a fast break opportunity.
That line change caught the Wings going the length of the ice to try to catch up to him. Face-off, Mahavlich moves it up ice. New life for the Diggers now. Here comes Mahavlich, carries it in. He's got De Palma on the side who moved just a bit early. He wanted another breakaway.
A little excited, wanted his second one. He's hot, he's on a roll, he's got to keep going. I know that feeling. Get your first one in there, you just want more and more and more. Get your name known.
John De Palma gets his first goal as a Falcon in his first game, or as a Digger. Behind the net, Del Cole sets it in front, working there, knocked down by Toot, set up in front, score! Del Cole got it from De Palma, and John De Palma is finding a home here in Toledo very quickly.
He sure is. He isn't big, but he's putting on a lot of spirit and a lot of spook. And Bill Cole, number 14, gets his 6th goal of the year. And all it was, De Palma just takes an easy wrist shot from Toot, deflects it at the net, in front of the net there. And there's Bill Cole, jolly on the spot, and the sprawling Gagnon cannot quite get over there. And I'm sure Jerry Francis is feeling a lot better right now, 4-2, and the kid he called up from the Continental Hockey League is sure doing a whale of a job tonight.
Almost had a smile there, didn't he? 6 minutes left to go in the second period. The lead has been cut in half, 4-2. They move it up ahead. Falkenberg. Dave sends it in along the board. It'll be picked up by Davies. Davies and Lawn collide. Anderson following the play, comes up with it, knocks it long, out at center ice, making the turn. Ethier sends it back in again. Davies to Anderson. Anderson against the board, knocks it long, icing going to be called. Back to make the touch is Ethier, and we're back in the Kalamazoo zone with 5:33 left to go.
More importantly, they're starting to get the fans from the back of their seats on the visitor seats, and once you get the fan back in the game, once again it's that one goal swing that a home crowd could have for Toledo.
We mentioned at the start of the period, even though they were down 4-0, there was still some 40 minutes of hockey.
They've certainly played a lot better this period than they did in the first period. They're going back to simple, basic hockey. Play the man, let the puck do the work for you, and take everything at the net.
Face off, drop, put toward the net. Peñon is able to easily send it wide, knocked up in the air. They'll stay in play. Controlled by Nisker. Out to McMichael. Nisker trying to get it back. Dump back in. Kookaboom. Losing it. Murdoch almost picked it up. Instead, it'll go to Davies. Davies on the left wing. Knocked away by Ethier. Coming back to retrieve is Davies. Lawn making the touch on it, but can't control. And Kookaboom again sends it in long. It'll bounce around to the near side. Touching on it. Lawn got it out of the zone. Trying to go after it, but he's tied up on the play by Anderson. Comes up with it anyway. Backhand shot into the pads. Rebound carried just wide by Claude Noel. Out at center ice. Mayer again comes up with it. We are almost 4-3 there. Mayer off to Murdoch. Murdoch holds. We get offside called. John doesn't agree with it.
Yeah, but a tired Dave Falkenberg was standing at the bench. He just couldn't get off. It's a good job by... Great job by Mike Loud here. And this is the way a goaltender's got to do it. Get the stick out there and knock the puck away, followed up by the pads. That's the way a goaltender should play a one-on-one off of the angle like that. Mike Loud's coming in, not good control of the puck, but shoot that stick out, goaltender. You're going to shoot that stick out. That's a weapon of your own you should use whenever you can.
Toot back on the bench. Steve coming in. He was down in the locker room for a bit. Franzosa is sitting on the bench, but apparently is not able to play. He's dressed. Face off, and it comes around to the side. Driscoll takes it. Driscoll in the middle to Bernie. Bernie leaves it. Driscoll trying to pick it back up again. Driscoll's got it. Puts it around behind. Going after it is Claude Noel. Schaffhauser there to help him. Aldred tried to break it up. Could not. Noel centering. Noel on a 3-on-3. Noel carries it across. Puts it over toward the net. Bounces out in front. Schaffhauser going to follow it up at the blue line. Sends it back in deep. Meadamore looking for Noel. Knocked up high. Glove down. Held in, apparently. Put back again to Waddell. Don sends it hard along the board. Picked up again by Aldred. Aldred starts it up. Aldred to the blue line. Aldred carries it in. Bernie along the blue line, called offside. Some good rushes here by Toledo.
Again, it's a kind of pick play that they were setting up. Bernie a little eager there to get over the line. Here's the injured one, Franzosa. As you said, he's got a concussion, feeling a little dizzy, so they're holding him out, giving Mike Champ the opportunity to go in there and prove what he's got, and he certainly impressed me the second period, bouncing back from a 4-goal performance in the first period.
It's picked up by Del Cole. Backhands it around. Pena will hold on to it. Send it behind. Going to control again by Bukaboom. Knocked out long. Trying to streak in after it. We get the late offside called off as it's back in. Bukaboom being watched by Mahavlich. Out at center ice. Diggers will pick it up in their own end now. Toot. Has it. De Palma. De Palma magic going to happen again. He sends it in. It'll go behind. Mahavlich in harassing. Del Cole wanted to get the strange carom, but instead it's Terry. He gets knocked by Ethier at center ice, still controlled by the wings. Anderson holds it in. Ethier reaches out, trying to control it, sends it out of the zone, back long. Anderson in his own end, between the circles. We're at the 3-minute mark of time remaining in the second period here. 4-2, Kalamazoo on top. Del Cole and Ethier collide. That will allow the wings to get it. Ethier puts it around the boards now, held in. Shot a shot, glove by Mark Champ. And in the locker room, I would assume the conversation was Mark Champ. You had a tough first period. Be the relief pitcher and just hold him if you can, and he certainly does hold him here.
Partially screened by Davies in front, and this is what this kid can do so well. He stays low the ice, and he lets himself see the puck, and he's got such good hands and good legs. He's so quick that he can make saves like that. Those are probably more routine for him than they are spectacular for others. He's so good with his hands and legs that he just makes saves like that look so easy.
Knocked up on top, shot taken, and again, Champ makes the save. Easy for you to say, that's an easy one.
I've seen him for 4 years. He's Rookie of the Year in the CCHA his freshman year. The kid's got great attributes. He's small and he's quick. What more can you ask out of him? He had a shaky first period, probably more to butterflies. I'm sure you're right. They probably in the dressing room saying, hey, we know what you got. That's why you're here. Just go out there and relax and do the job you're supposed to do.
Want to see a reaction?
There you go.
That was a big yes, I believe.
And a little cheerleading going on there.
Understandably. Falkenberg tried to clear it, could not. It's back in. Mayer watching as it goes around. Mahavlich steals it away. Has it slapped back, put it against the board, out of the zone. Toledo coming back, trying to pick it up. It'll be grabbed by Davies. Mahavlich had it and didn't realize it. We're going to have a penalty called on Pete Mahavlich. They're going to call a high stick, and he's not happy with it. Pete's so tall that anytime he hits anyone, it's going to be a high stick.
And his victim is Davies, and he hardly comes up to his shoulders. That's a funny one, because those are judgment calls again, and Coach Mahavlich is so tall and overpowering that the momentum was going their way, that hopefully this will not kill it to a power play that's 1-for-1 so far tonight.
Again, they were 21% coming into this evening's contest. And Perry, as you just said, they scored on their only opportunity. It's off the board. Davies will pick it up. Davies carrying it. We've got 2:10 remaining in the period right now. Out on the top, Tutt controlling it. Tutt, we get a whistle. I think we're going to get a holding call
On McMichael, I believe, for holding Pat Mayer in front of the net.
Boy, and that hurts the Wings here as they know that Toledo has clawed their way back into this game. And they had a situation where the worst they were going to come out in all likelihood is a 4-2 lead with the man advantage killing the rest of the period. Now suddenly they're back to a 4-on-4 situation with 2:03 left.
And I think more importantly, the momentum was going Toledo's way for so long. A penalty takes the crowd out of it, kind of swings momentum into Kalamazoo's favor. Now it just neutralized it, and now the crowd get back into it. Toledo with a 4-on-4 opportunity here. Could get another one here and make it 4-3.
4-2 our score right now. 2 minutes left to go in the second period. Aldred brings it up ice. Aldred at the blue line, holding it. Backhand, wanted to go to Falkenberg. Dave has it, off to Waddell. Don tried to spin and make the shot. Pulled from behind by Harilia. Waddell breaks loose, still with it. Puts it in front. Can't get anyone there to take the shot as Aldred was reaching but couldn't connect. Set down low, Mayer to Aldred. Aldred tried to go through the legs. Mayer comes back, gets it. Puts it around behind. Falkenberg waiting, looking, got a man in front. Couldn't hit Mayer. Mayer shoved into the net after the play. Here comes Harilia. It's long. Chiamp feeds over to Waddell. Waddell slaps it up into the air. It bounces to the blue line and brought it to Aldred. 1:15 to go. Aldred still with it. Has it stripped away. Taken back by Bukaboom. Bukaboom behind his own net. Bukaboom brings it up the middle. Still in control. Drifts off to the right. Back into the middle. Still got it. We are under a minute in the period. Back behind. Controlled by Noel. Davey and Aldred watching. It comes out on top. Back to the near side. Bukaboom. Over to the right side. Anderson right down the middle. Shoots it wide. Rebound. We get a delayed call against Toledo now. Working along the blue line. They get the extra skater on. Terry, a shot goes wide. 6 skaters on the ice. Empty net for Kalamazoo as they got the delayed penalty. Along the side, finally touched by Davey, and we get the slashing call going against the Toledo Goaldiggers with 30 seconds remaining in the second period.
And I think the victim of this call is number 21, Jim Aldred, who had quite a good shift prior to that penalty. There's Coach Mahavlich consoling him, saying, "That's all right, Jimmy. Good job out there."
Aldred, I thought, has played very, very well tonight.
He certainly has. He controls the puck so well for a centerman. He's big and strong like Coach Mahavlich, that when he's on the ice, you find him in situations where he's going down 1-on-3, 1-on-2, and from your broadcast so far, you've always said Aldred, going against more opposition to him. Well, I think the reason for that is he gets up ice so quickly that the wingers are unable to stay with him. But his size and strength allows him to hang on to the puck, control it in the zone, so his wingers catch up with him and makes a good play.
Murdoch to face off against Terry. Bill Terry, the leading scorer now in the eye. He's knocked against the board. Out on top, Schaffhauser retreating, cranks a shot. It goes wide. Rebound bounced in front. Murdoch should be able to clear it. Murdoch starts it up ice. Going 2-on-2. Murdoch carries it in. Murdoch still with it. Makes the turn. Puts a soft one on the side. 14 seconds left in the period here. Getting out, touches it behind to Schaffhauser. Schaffhauser starts up between the circles. Moves it up. Mahavlich back on the ice now. As they're 4-on-4. Well, now it's a power play as the buzzer sounds. As we've gone through 2 periods in Toledo, doing what they had to do, get a couple back while holding the Wings at bay. As they held a 4-0 lead at the end of 1, we've now completed 2, and Toledo has cut the lead in half. So that's where we stand at the end of 2 periods. Got a couple of interviews we invite you to stay with us to listen to with a couple of players, including the return of Claude Noel, and we certainly hope you'll stay with us. Our score at the end of 2 complete periods of play. The Kalamazoo Wings 4 and the Toledo Goaldiggers 2. At the Toledo Sports Arena, I'm Glenn Cerny, and with us an old familiar face for Goaldigger fans now wearing the uniform of the opponent tonight, the Kalamazoo Wings. Claude Noel joining us in between periods, and first of all, kind of like an old homecoming for you, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's been 2 months, I think, since I've been here anyway, and I'm glad to be back on the old ice surface.
How are things going for Claude Noel as a Kalamazoo wing?
Not bad. I've been in a slump basically all year, and now I'm looking at myself as being more of a checker than a goal scorer like I have been in previous years. But I've been playing a little bit better lately, and I feel that I'm contributing a little more to our team now than I was in the past. So I'm feeling a little bit better about myself now.
Talk around Toledo right now is the drive for that playoff spot to try to qualify for the Turner Cup playoffs. And we've been looking up at the standings, seeing Kalamazoo. I'm kind of interested in what your perspective is, looking back over your shoulder and finding Toledo trying to catch up with you. What's the attitude of the Wings? You're also in a position where you could move up and secure a spot farther up.
Well, we definitely have the confidence in our club to feel that we're going to be in the playoffs. First of all, we had a chance a while back to get a good jump on the point race when Toledo went, 12 games without a win, and we didn't capitalize on it. But now we've been playing a little bit better, and I think that our club is coming together a little bit better. We're playing 3 sound periods of hockey. Our goaltending's good, our defense has been good, and we feel good about that. And I think that we'll be okay. I'm not trying to downplay Toledo or anything like that, but I hear they've had little problems with some of the players, well, the movement of players that always hurts it a little bit, and we're happy with the way it's going, and hopefully we'll have a better second half.
It's the kind of thing where you can't worry about everyone else's backyard. You got to keep moving ahead with yourself, right?
Yeah, exactly. We're just trying to look at Saginaw rather than look behind. We're looking forward here a bit.
Claude Noel, good to see you back in Toledo, and we certainly wish you the best of luck after tonight's game with the Toledo Goaldiggers,
Thank you very much.
We'll be back in just a moment with Perry Braun chatting with Steve Toot in just a moment.
My guest today is Steve Toot between the second and third period intermission. Steve, St. Lawrence University and the ECAC, quite a good school for skating and stick handling, your basic fundamental skills. Now the move into the International Hockey League. Tell me if there is any difference, and if there is or if there isn't, what do you see as common or not common here?
Well, there's a big difference in the college game compared to the pro game. It's just the hooking and the grabbing and the clutching. You just don't have in the college game, where it's more a freewheeling game. The players, for the most part, in the pros are a lot stronger and a lot bigger. You got guys that are small that can play in the college leagues that, you know, probably wouldn't be able to play here, but they're still good players. The games, this might be a little quicker, but the clutching and the grabbing stuff, really, it's a big difference, I find.
You're a free agent signed by Los Angeles Kings. Obviously, you have some good points to be up here playing the professionals. Is there something that you need to work on that Coach Mahavlich is stressing, or that you see and you've talked to him about?
Well, I think the big thing is they want me to get a little more physical. You know, right now I'm starting to see the play a little bit better. The play here in the pros, it just develops a little quicker than the college games. Guys are in positions a lot quicker, and you got to be a little quicker to hit them there, and that's a big thing I'm finding out right now. And you know, it's a test for me. It's a good base right now working here to get my skills down, and Pete helps out a lot. You know, he lets you know when you're doing something wrong, and he'll correct you, and that's a big thing you need. You know, you need someone back there to help you, and you know, sometimes you don't always get it. Like college, sometimes it's tough because the coach is dealing with a lot of the team concept where Pete can help you individually a lot.
I'd like to thank the big defenseman for the Toledo Goaldiggers, number 23, Steve Toot, for dropping by with me. Glenn Cerny, my partner in crime. We'll be back with an interview with Mark Champ right after this.
Back to the Toledo Sports Arena. I'm Glenn Cerny, and chatting with us now, the newest member of the Toledo Goaldiggers, Mark Champ, and playing at Michigan last year, a brief tryout here, and suddenly you find yourself back in Toledo. Can you kind of give us the itinerary from Michigan down to Toledo?
Well, after Michigan, I was a free agent, and I accepted an invitation to go out to Washington Capitals camp. Went out there, did fairly well. They sent me down to Fort Wayne, the Comets in the eye, and I stayed there for about maybe a month and a half. And they had a problem with, there was 3 goalies there, 2 of them were under contract, so I wasn't. So I was the odd man out, and I left there. Went down, I took maybe about a week off, and I went down Virginia of the Atlantic Coast League. I stayed there for maybe 2 or 3 weeks, and I really didn't like it there too much, so I just came home. I had a degree at Michigan, so I went back up to Ann Arbor, and Red Berenson, our coach there, tried to find me a job. I was just interviewing with companies, and then maybe 3-4 days ago, Peter Mahavlich called, asked me if I was still interested in playing hockey, and Toledo had an opening, like me to come down here.
It's got to be hard enough keeping ready for a game when you're practicing every day and watching the games. To step into this kind of a situation, how did you go about keeping yourself mentally ready so if the call did come, you'd be able to play?
Well, there's a lot in the Detroit area. There's a lot of old college players, semi-pro players, and they get together maybe once, twice a week, and they skate. And it's it's not as good as being on the ice every day, but you still get the feel for the puck and stuff like that. So that's what I was doing back home.
Look forward to seeing you in goal with the Toledo Goaldiggers in a drive for a Turner Cup playoff spot. Good luck to Mark Champ and the Diggers.
Okay, thank you very much.
We'll be back with more for you on tonight's telecast of Toledo Goaldigger hockey right after this. We are between periods 2 and 3, where our score stands Kalamazoo 4 and Toledo 2. And Glenn Cerny along with Perry Braun, where the Toledo Goaldiggers have battled their way back into this contest and are poised to hopefully get an early one and put the pressure on Gagné and the Wings as we take a look at the statistics, and starting to look much better for the Goaldiggers, Perry.
It certainly is. Toledo with 21 total shots, much better. More importantly, all the shots are directed at the net. Both goaltenders, Gagnon and Champ with 7 saves that period. 2 penalties dished out to each team. Both teams unable to score on a power play. But more importantly, Toledo played a much better period, getting back to fundamentals and taking everything at the net, putting a lot more pressure on Gagnon. As you can see, John DePalma, the newly acquired person from the Troy Sabres of the Continental League, getting his first goal as a Toledo Goaldigger with the assist of Pat Mayer. A good communication between both of them, catching the Kalamazoo K-Wings in the line change. And then Bill Cole on the deflection of DePalma and scoring his 6th goal of the year. Once again, DePalma lighting a little fire, being the spark plug that Donnie Murdoch was talking about in the first interview, igniting the Toledo Goaldiggers, pulling this game into a 4-2 decision so far after 2.
The Diggers take to the ice, and you've got 2 newcomers that have contributed in this cause for Toledo's comeback in the second period. Mark Champ having a very nervous first period, looked much stronger there in the second period, and of course DePalma getting the 1 goal and then assisting on the second one as well. So some new blood for the Toledo Goaldiggers as Mark Champ looks at that goal and says this one's already had 6 go in it. It's time for the rest of them to go in the other goal this period. Mark Champ played his hockey at Michigan, and as we mentioned, Perry Braun, while you were a student at Bowling Green, had the opportunity to play against Mark Champ at Yost Arena and at the Bowling Green Ice Arena.
A few times, and I know that he's a very capable goaltender. There's a lot of pressure put on him at Michigan. It was a starting program under Coach Bernsing at that time when he came in, and he's played exceptionally well. I know he can do it. On the other end, Georges Gagnon, a 3.6 average. More importantly, a 2.15 average so far against the Goaldiggers. His job is to keep that goals against average down. For Peter Mahavlich and the rest of the Goaldiggers, they got to keep doing what they did in the second period, putting more shots, more pressure on him at the other end of the net. The third period has been very good to Toledo Goaldiggers so far this month. They hope it's the same for this game.
In addition to being down by 2 goals as we start the third period, the Toledo Goaldiggers will be down a man for a minute and a half as they have to wait for Jim Aldred to get out of the penalty box, serving the remainder of his penalty for slashing that he picked up at the 1930 mark of the second period. Perry, I think it boils down to what you've been talking about all night, just the basics. Got to go out and play some hard-nosed hockey and see what happens. Bill Inglis, meanwhile, is looking at his team and saying, hang in there. We got 2 goals to roll here. If we can control this face-off and take the power play, we're in great shape. It's on the side. Mukavoom holding on to it, waiting, comes out on the right side, still works it up ice, looking, fires ahead, got it into Anderson. Waddell tried to reach for it, couldn't come up with it. Crawford puts the touch on it in the near corner. Crawford trying to work it, gets it over to Nichols. Nichols looking for Terry. Instead, it'll go out on top. Controlled by Anderson. Down low, Nichols. Nichols goes behind the net. Nichols still with it, being watched by Chiamp. Working, trying to set it right in front. Shot and a great save by Mark Chiamp. Picked up by Pete Mahovlich. Tries to put it long and gets it the length of the ring. Great save by Mark Chiamp there in the early going. The last thing Toledo wants is to see the score 5-2. Down into the zone again. Chiamp picks it up, holds it, shovels it off into the corner. Waddell backhands it. Pete Mahovlich helps it out. Anderson regains it at center ice. Bill Terry, high on the glass, sends it in. Don Waddell cranks it. Falkenberg tried to help it. Couldn't get it across. Going down, diving for it. Men out of position. Dangerous situation. Crawford set in front, deflected away. Set back to Waddell. Waddell will bring it across. 14 seconds left on the Aldred penalty. Waddell waiting, taking his time. Wants to get the extra skater back on. 5 seconds left to go. Ethier cranks it against the board. It hits Driscoll, and the Goaldiggers are back at full strength. So the first goal of the third period was accomplished. That was to finish off the penalty. Now they can concentrate on the offense. Don Waddell back in his own end, leaves it for Aldred. Aldred retreating, cuts back in. We get a whistle on a delayed offsides when he tried to circle back. They finally call him on it with 18:11 left to go.
And this is the man we talked about earlier before the penalty, Jim Aldred, who's having a whale of a game so far, controlling the puck. And I'm sure Coach Mahovlich would like to see him start putting more pucks in the net. He's a big, strong kid, and he's got to start asserting himself out there to get the Toledo Goaldiggers back into the win column.
Put down to Schaffhauser. He fans on it. Moving along the side. Driscoll tried to force it back. Davey will pick it up in his own end. Davey comes out on the right wing. Davey waiting. Hits it against the board. Sets it way long. Should get an icing call. They'll put the touch on it as Schaffhauser goes deep and will come back into the Toledo zone with 17:54 left to go. I just kind of game for Mark Chiamp's sake, you'd like to take a couple of those early goals back, and as we see here, he has certainly regained some of that confidence.
This is on the power play earlier. Mark Crawford, we haven't heard much about him lately, but he's the third leading scorer in the league with 29 goals, and always a terror around that net, and a good stop by Champ to keep the score 4-2. Very important this early in the period.
Davey hits the red line, will dump it in. Young is able to shovel it off to the near side, controlled by Driscoll. Driscoll waiting there, comes back in to help out with Fernie, and the whistle sounds. Will face off.
And this is Goaldigger hockey. This is where they got to dump it in, control the board, control the corners, take stoppages if you have to, but keep owning the boards and corners. That way you start working it out towards the net and jam a few home.
Overall strength, who do you think's got the edge?
I think overall strength, I think Toledo has bigger size and bigger strength, but that's offset by Kalamazoo's speed.
Aldred with it. Face-off sent toward the net. Young this time shovels it out. He wasn't quite as eager to kill it as he was before when they had the 4-0 lead. Meadamore brings it up. Yeah, did not clear it. Dump back in where it's controlled by Tutt. He does clear it, bringing it back in, however, to Tutt. And we knew we were going to get that combination sometime in tonight's game. Tutt brings it up ice offsides. For the Toledo Goaldiggers, of course, you have Steve Toot. And for the Kalamazoo Wings, you have Brian Tutt.
Always a tongue twister.
And we're waiting for Toot and Tutt to tussle.
Is that Tutt or is that Toot right there? That's Brian Tutt from Alberta. That's a Western boy like myself. Once again, though, getting back to the side, this is what Toledo has to do. They have big defensemen, and they got to keep controlling the blue lines and the boards and keep firing shots like they did in the second period at Gagnon. The rest of forward, crash the net for the rebound.
Sent into the zone behind the net, Don Waddell. Waddell off onto the side. Mayer will bring it up ice. Mayer to the red line. He'll dump it in, and they'll chase it again. Driving after it, Lee Blossom got turned around, having trouble picking it up. Bounces up in the air. Blossom trying to track it down. Anderson will get there first. Anderson trying to clear it. Knocked down by Blossom. Picks it up, tripped up on the plane, and it'll give Toledo a power play. 16:39 remaining in the first period, and the Goaldiggers, who are 0 for 2 tonight in the power play, will have their third opportunity.
We haven't heard much from Lee Blossom so far this game. He's a potent scorer for the Toledo Goaldiggers, 25 goals so far. He does a good job of forechecking Grant Anderson here, stripping the puck away from him, and the only thing Anderson could do was take the wheels out from under him. Good job by Blossom. He's not scoring right now, but he's still working hard trying to create his own opportunities. For Toledo to get into this game, he's going to have to continue to start scoring. On the power play, we got Waddell and we got Lown on defense. Good combination. Waddell has got 8 power play goals so far, and Lown, he controls the puck very well. We got Murdoch at center, the wily veteran, with Blossom, the 25-goal scorer, and the hard-working Scott Burney on the left side.
It'll bounce back into the Toledo zone. The Wings did a good job of using their speed to kill the previous opportunities that Toledo had. Lauren gets it back onto the side, up with it, Don Waddell. The league all-star sends it ahead. Lawn back to Blossom. Blossom trying to make the turn, gets around one. Blossom carries it behind, still with it. Lee Blossom back out on top. Waddell rolls on the shot, will give it off to Lawn. Back to Waddell. This time he'll crank it, deflected, just wide. Murdoch has it in the far corner. Gets it behind, back on top. Waddell in the slot, waiting, shovels it off to the side. Knocked wide by Terry out of the zone. Waddell comes back, picks it up. Off to Lee Blossom. Blossom has it intercepted. Lawn trying to hold it, breaking in, trying to make a move. Flipped up on the shot. Is breaking in there was Harililu. Back again behind. Here's Blossom out to Murdoch. Murdoch at the red line. Leads it off onto the side. Drop pass. Picked up again by Lawn. Gets around one. Back to Blossom. To Waddell. Waddell shoots it wide and high. Back again, Arillo sends it long. 35 seconds left to go in the man advantage. Don Waddell back in his own end picks it up. Del Cole makes the turn to Palma. Tried to pick it up off the board. Mahavlich sends it over. Del Cole carries it in. Del Cole on the left wing. Drop pass on the side. Ethier let it slide through to Mahavlich. And controlled again by the Diggers. De Palma wanted to shoot, lost control, gets it out to Waddell. Don just dumps it back in. 9 seconds in the man advantage. In front, going to be cleared by Harilial again, and that will kill the penalty. Time expires. Back on the ice is Anderson. De Palma against the board, clears the zone. Schaffhauser in his own end. Onto the near side. It's Steve Tuch. Gets it to Palma to Del Cole. Del Cole backhands it in, immediately regained by Kalamazoo. They start moving it up along the board. Regained, sent in by the Wings, where finally Ethier regains for Toledo. Mahavlich up ice. Mahavlich working along the line. Leaves it there for De Palma. They got tangled up as they tried to cross paths. De Palma now picks it up. Nice feed to Mahavlich. They try to hold on side, and it comes back out, so offside will not be called. Davey off to Mahavlich. Tried to move in with it. Can't find the handle, and it's Nisker. Nisker starts up ice again. Knocked behind. Put high up into the air. Mark Chiamp not taking any chances. Gloves it and turns it around again. Davey shoots it long. Line change for the Wings, and they'll go to Driscoll. Driscoll carries it in. Shot put into the shins of the Wings following the play. Aldred, another shot, knocked down again by the defense. The Wing defensemen doing a good job of stopping the shots before they get to Gagnon. Shot taken, saved by Chiamp. Rebound, saved again, still loose. Schaffhauser, a backhander, goes wide. Rebound, backhanded again, set up in front and goes through. Mark Chiamp with a couple of game stoppers there as Mayer tries to freeze it up behind the net. Gets some help from Aldred. Aldred holding it. Aldred still with it. Aldred trying to move it along. Mayer trying to get the face off, and finally the whistle sounds. We'd like to remind you that on February 7th, the Flint Spirits will be in. It's Toledo Blade Night. Half-price tickets, coupon in the Blade. And remind you about that.
This is Mark Champ at his finest, up and down. Watch how quick he goes up and down from the butterfly, back over to his down on the ice. Here it is again. A good shot of what a goaltender's got to do. Once you're down, get up again and get in position. There's Mark Crawford, the ever-dangerous sniper for Kalamazoo. Schaffhauser with the shot. Davies back again. He was up and down. He's earned his paycheck right here tonight, isn't he, Glenn?
You know, I think back to all the times you go to practices and see the goaltenders falling down and jumping back up, and that practice pays off in game competition for Mark Champ. 4-2 our score. We have 12:52 to go. Toledo still has plenty of time to come back against the Wings. We get some changes as Driscoll will take the face-off against Terry. Drop, put into the corner. Mayer after it, sets it around behind. Mayer trying to go after it. Terry will get to it there. Holds it in, put down below Nichols. He's got Crawford on the side, slapped away by Davey. Driscoll moves it up ahead. One-on-one. Aldred brings it up ahead, going against Cutt. Aldred trying to go around him, now puts on the brakes, set it in front. No one there to take it. Chance taken by Toledo. They're able to hold things up, as I believe it was Davey who stepped in from his defensive position. Falkenberg back in his own end, goes to Waddell. Set out to the red line, knocked back in. We're going to get offside called on the Wings. Good news this week for Don Waddell as we take a look at the IHL All-Stars.
And there's Don Waddell at the mid-season first team All-Star break with Burton from Fort Wayne and St. Cloud Fort Wayne, leaders in the Western Division. Egerton from Flint, Don Mikulek from Flint, rounding out the rest of the squad. Congratulations, Don.
And Flint will be in town February 7th here at the Sports Arena to play the Diggers. Comes back in onto the side, roll around, and it comes back to Waddell. Donnie holding on to, or being held on to while he holds on to it by Claude Noel, a couple ex-teammates. Meadamore sends it in, far corner. Champ watching, knocks it around behind. Waddell gets tripped up after he unloads on it. He got unloaded on, and again, Blossom spun around, no call. Look out, Harris. Shot taken and knocked into the shoulder. Nice job by Champ protecting the post there. Back on top. Go to Bukaboom. It goes wide. Held in by Anderson, carrying it. Shot goes behind the net. Kalamazoo having control of the play here right now. Blossom sets it out long, wanted Murdoch. It goes into the zone. No icing on the call as he was at the red line when he touched it in. Wings trying to control it. Meadamore sends it long. Bouncer. Icing going to be waved off as it's controlled by Toot. Toot sets it out onto the side. Lauren to Blossom. Blossom again to Mayer. Mayer poked on the play. Line changes for the Diggers. Up ice, Murdoch trying to move ahead. He's got Del Cole moving with him. Murdoch still with it. Cranks a shot wide. Rebound out on top. Toot another shot. Knocked down by the defense. Set up in front. Put toward the net. Rebound slapped into the pad. Still loose behind the net. And finally, Gagnon will hold on tight. Good job by Del Cole and Murdoch. Murdoch doing the right thing. Del Cole's going net. Just get the puck at the net. Mistake was it wasn't on Gagnon. And then Toot following up later on. We're going to see a lot more chances by the defenseman. There's 23, Steve Toot. We had a conversation with him. He's up ice. Not where you'd like to see him be, but when you're down 4-2, you got to take whatever you can get. Del Cole doing some good work behind the net. And Georges Gagnon hanging on this time, making sure nobody's going to get the puck. You think it's fast and furious now, immediately following on Channel 5A. Martina Navratilova and Gabriela Sabatini, along with a men's match of tennis action on Forum Sports coming up immediately after. Meantime, face-off sent into the corner, trying to freeze it up. De Palma finally does. Men's match, Yannick Noah going against Yvonne Lindell. A couple of country folk playing there. It's coming up right after Toledo Goaldigger hockey on Channel 5A. Hope you'll stay with us. 10.5 minutes to play here yet, and Toledo trying to cut the lead to 1 here with the face-off in the Kalamazoo zone. It's sent long. Toot back to retrieve. Knocks it along the board, but can't control. Mahavlich trying to help out now. We've got a lost stick, and finally going to be regained. Starting up again. De Palma feeds it off, dump it in. Del Cole giving chase. Del Cole after it. It's behind the net. Gagnon is out of the crease. Jumps back in now where he should be. Toledo trying to fight for it out on top. To the shot, and it's knocked down. Mahavlich picks it up. Nice stick handling. Still with it. Moves in front. Knocked out in front until Cole couldn't get a stick on it. He had wide open net and couldn't find it. Back on top. Knocked down and just throwing the length of the ice. As we get a penalty called.
I believe it's on Lori Nisker. And basketball, it's a technical, but here it's an unsportsmanlike conduct. Was it holding?
Holding, I believe, was the call, but you're right. Take a look at it, see if...
Team Mahavlich, what a move he made on Brian Toot. And then right out in front, empty net, and it goes right between De Palma and Del Cole. Tell you, that'll make you shake your head. Here it is again. My God, he went right around him like he's not even there. There's the old wily veteran sliding it across. I've seen him do that a few times in Montreal.
Going off will be Laurie Nisker. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of Buckeye Cablevision Incorporated and is intended solely for the private use of our subscribers. And a use, reproduction of this cablecast without the express written permission from Buckeye Cable Television Incorporated is strictly prohibited. 9:45 to go. Fourth power play opportunity of the night for the Toledo Goaldiggers. They are 0 for 3 right now. And a chance to draw to 1. Murdoch on the face-off, sets it toward, picked up by Blossom, tries to tuck it in, can't do it. Held in on top. Waddell, a shot just wide on the deflection by Gagnon, trying to control. Playing without a stick on the far side is Kalamazoo's Aurelia. He cannot control it. Toledo back up with it. Blossom wanted to feed it to Murdoch, and it'll go across the blue line. Waddell back to retrieve. Don trying to work it. Gives it back to Murdoch. Everyone on side. Set it across. Intercepted by Noel. Noel sends it out. Aurelia dumps it in. And Waddell will pick it up with 1:20 left to go in the man advantage. Waddell with a head of steam. While the Wings make a line change, Waddell will carry it in. Stops at the point on the right side. Drops it to Blossom. Blossom behind the net. Knocked up, hits the official. It'll be brought back on top to Lawn. Lawn over to Waddell. We get a whistle on the play. And I think Falkenberg and Bukaboom, we're tied up, and Falkenberg's going to go off for 2, and that will kill this power play. And unless it's coincidental, well, it is, so this will not affect the power play. Bukaboom will go off as well.
I believe both of them are going off for dancing a little too close. A little roughing penalty going on in front of that. Falkenberg's main job on the power play is stand in front of the net, create a little havoc, and let the puck work itself around the boards. You're going to see a lot of shots taken by Waddell. He's a big gunner out there. He's got 8 power play goals for the Goaldiggers. So you're going to see the Goaldiggers isolate towards him, much like the Lakers do for Jabbar. They work the ball around, the Lakers do, and work it into Kareem Abdul-Jabbar for the good shot, much like the Goaldiggers do. Different philosophy from the Kalamazoo people who work it down behind the net.
Kalamazoo almost using a lacrosse type of play.
Much like it, like field lacrosse, working behind the net and working it out from there.
Mahavlich on the face-off comes on top. It'll be controlled by Lawn. We're still 5 on 4. It'll be Waddell along the blue line. Going to lose control of it. It's sent long. Going down after it is Lawn. He'll take it from Champ. 53 seconds left on the man advantage. Lawn having some trouble behind the net. Gets his footing back. Gives it off on the side. Waddell. Waddell to Mahavlich. Mahavlich has Murdoch on his left. Drops it for Murdoch. Murdoch will put it back to Pete behind the net, controlled by Blossom. Over to Mahavlich. Comes out on top, takes a funny bounce, and Terry will be able to clear it. Murdoch back to retrieve. Murdoch waiting, makes the turn, gives it up. Pushed off the play, and this will allow the Wings to dump it back in. Crawford going after it in the corner. He'll be happy just to eat some time up, not particularly looking for the scoring opportunity. Mahavlich up ice as again the Wings make line changes. Wings making some quick line changes on this penalty killing situation. Noel holds onto it. He just caroms it long. 5 seconds left on the man advantage. Knocked around. Mahavlich loses it. 3 on 2. Back in, and they'll pull it back out. I don't think Tutt realized he had what he had there. Schaffhauser sends it in. Bounces it around. Champ settles it behind the net. It'll be taken by Ethier. He gets it around to Driscoll. Driscoll starts up ice, fires it long, breaking in on the side, trying to make a move. Bernie hauled down on the play. Driscoll tries to get it back from Claude Noel. And Noel fires it up. Nisker's shot goes wide. Bernie fighting with it. Behind. Goes to Aldred. Aldred trying to go to Davy. Davy getting some help now from Aldred. Drops in front. And Mark Champ says enough is enough.
The puck dangerously getting in front of the net. Mark Champ covering up as Aldred and McMichael are changing a few words.
7:06 remaining here. 4-2 our score as we get line changes. It gives us an opportunity to remind you that the Detroit Tigers return to the cable system this summer, and certainly hope you'll join us. Have some preseason games coming your way in March, and then pick up the regular season in the month of April. So it's another summer of Detroit Tiger baseball on the cable system starting in March. Face off, sent behind the net. Going to be controlled by Aldred. Aldred around to Driscoll. Driscoll starts it up ice. Driscoll, nice lead pass. Moving in there. Toot fires it in. Bounces around. Still controlling it. Working it back. Fired out to center ice. Picked up again by Aldred to Waddell. Waddell fires it out. Making the turn. Tried to feed it back to Driscoll was Bernie, and he zigged when he should have zagged. Meadamore in the Toledo zone, works around one, comes up with it, cranks a shot into the pads, returning it again, Bernie, or Aldred it is. Aldred starts up ice. Nice move by Aldred. Aldred leading the rush, gives off on the side. Bernie wanted to give and go, deflected back out to center ice. Rolling around, sent in, and offside called on Toledo. 6:13.
Now we're getting into that time of the period where Toledo has to continue to take chances. We're going to see a lot of defenses standing up, trying to create scoring opportunities, holding the line, and trying to have Kalamazoo use their philosophy of staying up and trying to intercept a few passes and turn them back in for goal opportunities.
Face off, Pete Mahovlich and Bill Terry, and there's a contrast in size. Anderson sets it out to the red line, picked up by the Diggers. They'll dump it in. It'll go behind the net. Gagne sets it off onto the side, knocked along the board. Terry up with it again. Terry starts moving up ice. Mahovlich tries to intercept. Terry brings it in. Nice move. Slips and falls just as I say it. I should have jinxed him back in the first period. Here comes Del Cole. Del Cole leaves it off. De Palma has it slide off the end of a stick. Following on the play, Davy a shot. Mayer will pick it up. Mayer puts it toward net, deflected wide by Del Cole. Del Cole along the board gets hit. Still trying to find the handle on it, digging, and finally the whistle sounds.
And once again, De Palma doing a whale of a job out there tonight. He's all over the ice, controlling the puck, creating a little mischief out there. Mayer just gets it at the net. It's not important whether it's hard or not. Just get it at the net. Del Cole right on the spot, bounces just over his stick. Fortunately for Gagnon, though. Gagnon's having a whale of a game so far, keeping in this game 4-2. Mahovlich directing traffic out there. He's a general. He's the one in charge. He's making sure he's getting his people where they should be. He's also a heck of a face-off artist, too. You know, he's got a lot of years' experience. I'm sure he's going to use this on Claude Noel, who's equally as experienced.
Claude Noel, 31 years of age. Move it along. Falkenberg in front. Backhand shot by De Palma goes just wide. Falkenberg again. Tried it on top. Davy, he cranks one. And Gagnon will hold on to this one. With 5:22, they had the draw the way they wanted it and even had the shot, but couldn't make it hit.
But more importantly, what they did after the shot, they continued to forecheck, going at the players, rushing Claude Noel, who made a mistake for the first time in this game that I've seen, coughing it right out in front to Davy, who got the good shot on net.
They do it again. Mahovlich sets it across. De Palma could not get a hold of it. Meadamore brings it up. Meadamore carries it across the wing on the right side. Still with it. Mayer forces him into the corner. Aurelio will go into the side with it. Mayer gets it back, set up in front. Crunching check on the play on Meadamore. Mahovlich, meanwhile, carries it up ice 3-on-3. Mahovlich into the zone. Mahovlich still with it, waiting, dancing. Look at the move on the power play. Back to Davy. Davy goes to De Palma, set in front. Shot and save. Gagnon was somehow able to stop that from going in, but we saw a little bit of the talent of Pete Mahavlich as he kept the man on his hip and continued to control play, and he looks a little bit tired, skating over as well he should be.
Deservedly so. Here's Meadmore. You want to see a crunching check. There's Neil Davey running into Meadmore, who's got a couple inches on him. Mahavlich wheeling and dealing here. You want a guy work a stick. This is a Harry Houdini right here. Going at the blue line, controlling it. Watch what he does with Brian Tutt right there. He just smacks him down on the ice, puck in front of the net. Gagnon hangs on, keeping the score 4-2.
McMichael breaks in, broken up by Ethier. If he doesn't make that touch, he's got big trouble. Here comes Blossom. Blossom knocked down as he comes across. Waddell watching as Murdoch goes on the side. Ethier, a shot. The drive is stopped again. Rebound into the corner, knocked up into the air. Waddell goes down, makes the stop, backhands it into the glove of Gagnon, and he'll hold on this time.
One thing I'm noticing that Kalamazoo is doing real well all night long is making sure the bodies aren't getting to the net to get the rebounds from George Gagnon. They're tying up the man whenever one of the point men is winding up, Easter, Waddell, Davey, etc., etc. When they're winding up for the shot, a Kalamazoo K-wing is on a man right away, allowing Gagnon to see the puck, and they're tying up that man's stick so he hasn't got the opportunity to get a second or a third shot. I think we might be able to see it right here coming up. Blossom doing a good work dropping it off. Murdoch's going to get the puck and slide it across, and here you're going to see the Kalamazoo people tie up the men in front, especially Blossom and Murdoch.
Knocked off to the side. Back to action. It's sent long. Ethier will get it. Icing going to be waved off as he touches it before it crosses the line. Pat Ethier out of University of Wisconsin waits for a break. Up with it is Lawn. Gets around one. Hauled down on the play. No penalty going to be called. Murdoch touches it, starts coming in. He's got Blossom open and put it just to the right of him, so he could not control it with any momentum. Up ice with it again, breaking in. Davies, he gets knocked off the play. Blossom up with it again. Lee with a head of steam, starts up, hits the red line, dumps it on target. And Gagnon has to stop it. Schaffhauser comes to the near side. Around the board, picked up by Driscoll. Driscoll at the red line, feeds it ahead. Don Waddell sees everyone on side, puts it in. The Diggers are going with the long shot now. With 3 minutes and 20 seconds to go, they trail by a pair. Controlled again by Waddell. He'll skate in with it along the blue line. Makes the stop. It bounces back out to the neutral zone. Ethier there. Check that. It's Davey. Back to Waddell. Waddell to Aldred. Aldred makes the turn. Feeds back again. Waddell at the red line. Loops it up into the air. A bouncer. Gagnon comes out to knock it down. Will wing it around the board. Trying to stop it was Bernie. It gets by him. They'll bring it back up again. Toot sends it back in, delayed offside if the Diggers touch it. Terry at center ice, tapped around. Aldred picks it up. Aldred trying to go around Terry, and offside called is, I believe it was Bernie that was in ahead of the play.
That's the man the Goaldiggers want to have the puck on his stick, Aldred. He's been wheeling and dealing all day. And there's Scott Bernie. He can't believe it himself. But it's just one of those mental things. You're pressing hard, you're going at the net, your man's got the puck and you want to get there, and he just got a stride offside. Aldred, he's got a one that's got to start carrying it again. We're getting into 2:41. He's got to start putting more pressure on the goaltender.
It's hard to hurry up and press and wait, isn't it?
It certainly is. It really is. You get so anxious to go to the net, and you keep waiting and waiting, and finally something goes off in your brain. You got to get at it.
Again, remind you, Flint will be in town on February 7th here at the Sports Arena. Late night, it goes into the Digger zone, and icing will be called. We'll come back to the other end. Also on February 9th, Indianapolis, a Sunday game, will be in town. UAW Ford Motor Family Day on that one with Indianapolis, so certainly hope that we'll see you out here at the Sports Arena. And again, following this, a couple tennis matches coming your way on Channel 5A. Face off. Well, we're waiting here. We get a late whistle. We're in the Kalamazoo zone with 2:33 left to go. Time starting to run out for the Diggers. It breaks out, coming up ice, moving along the board. Aurelia has it, centers it. On the far side, Noel. Noel drops it back. Anderson, a shot deflected. It goes wide. Champ way out of the net was able to knock it Comes back in. Pulling up is Meadmore. He gets hauled down. No whistle on the play, and Toledo trying to clear it, cannot. It's knocked up in the air by Bukaboom. Finally, Toledo out of the end. It's Falkenberg, stripped away by Anderson. Anderson sets it out, Noel. Noel leaves it. Again, Meadmore comes in, off on the side, streaking in, score! Aurelio makes it 5-2 with just 1:50 left. You kind of got the feeling that one was coming. Kalamazoo suddenly turned on the Jets.
Really, Luke, getting his 18th goal of the year, and you're so right, as your team begins to take more and more chances, they give up 2-on-1 opportunities. Meadmore, nice pass to Aurelio, just puts it between the legs of Mark Champ. Not much you can say about that. You keep pressing for so long, you're bound to get burned once in a while. This is one of those times. It all set it up by Claude Noel again, who just seems to be a magician with the puck. And Meadmore, nice pass to Aurelio, who finds the open net there between his legs.
Face off as we are underway again now in a 5-2 game. 1:45 left to play. Schaffhauser moves it up ice, backhanded. Ethier will get it, dumps it down long. Icing going to be called, and we'll come back. Again, want to remind you, coming up immediately following Goaldigger Hockey here on Channel 5A, Martina Navratilova, Gabriel Sabratini in one match, and top-rated Ivan Lendl against Yannick Noah in the Forum Championship Tennis Challenge Series. So, a couple of great matches coming your way.
It'll be very exciting.
1:35 left to play in the Toledo zone. Mahavlich gets the face-off off onto the side. 2-on-2. De Palma and Del Cole tried to carry it in. Got stripped away. Meadmore puts it off onto the side. Going to be controlled by Mahavlich. Set it in front. Shot. Goes just wide. Knocked up into the air and back out to the center ice area. McMichael carries it in. Cranks it wide. Rebound. Mahavlich has it slide through to Del Cole. 3-on-2 if they hurry. Mahavlich up with it. Waiting. Sets it back down low. Kicked out. Del Cole was the man on the post there. Back around. Controlled by Nisker. Nisker gets it right back. We are under a minute to go. McMichael will dump it in. Nisker going after it, cranks a shot into the pads. Ethier around onto the side. Mahavlich. Mahavlich carries it through. Putting on the brakes was Waddell, trying to track it back down. Nisker sends it the length of the rink. Icing going to be called with 36 seconds remaining. That'll be a disappointing loss for the Toledo Goaldiggers to have John Franzosa go down with a head injury during warm-up, and pressing young Mark Champ into the limelight when I'm sure they would have liked to have given him a little bit of time to work with the team and get things squared away. And you can see some of the disappointment. John Franzosa. Face off, put toward the net, it'll go wide. We are down to a half minute here. Crawford brings it up ice. Crawford leads it in to Terry. Terry, backhander into the pads of Champ, and said, this is enough. Let's get out of here with just the 5, guys. I admire Mark Champ for the way he rallied back. Would have been easy to pull up the stakes and pack the tent, wouldn't it?
Especially after the first period when they were down 4-0. But he hung in there, and he's done well since then, and he'll go on and continue to play very well, I'm sure, for the Goaldiggers.
Murdoch puts it off to Lawn. Lawn turns, knocked back in, breaking in. Terry, cleared by Blossom off the side. 15 seconds left, right in front. Nice save again by Champ. Lawn up with it. He's got Murdoch and Blossom, but it's intercepted by the wings. Back in their own end. 5 seconds left. Mayer up with it. Mayer deflects it in deep. It'll go long. 1 second left. Icing waved off as the buzzer sounds. And we've got a 5-2 final here as Georges Kenya is congratulated by his teammates in the 4-2 hockey game as he played a solid game. And 5-2 is our final once again. We're going to pause here. When we come back, we'll wrap things up from the sports arena. Again, our final score. The Kalamazoo Wings 5 and the Toledo Goaldiggers 2. 5-2, the final score here tonight as the Toledo Goaldiggers go down to defeat at the hands of the Kalamazoo Wings. Again, remind you immediately following our broadcast here, Yvonne Lendl and Yannick Noah will be meeting in one tennis match of the Foreign Championship Tennis Challenge Series, and also women's match featuring Martina Navratilova against Gabriela Sabatini, and a couple big names going on there. Perry Braun, Toledo travels to Peoria for a pair of games. Kalamazoo is at home against Fort Wayne and Flint. Want to remind everyone that the same Flint Spirits will be back here at the Sports Arena on Friday night, February 7th, and it's Toledo Blade Night, half-price tickets, coupon available in the Blade, and also Owens Corning Night on February 9th. The Sunday, it'll be Indianapolis in town, so a couple good games coming in for the folks to come out and enjoy and back the Toledo Goaldiggers here at the Sports Arena. Disappointing loss, however, 5-2 at the hands of the Wings.
But more importantly, they showed signs of good spirit. They played 2 good periods. The first one was kind of shaky, 4-0 down. They played them 2-1 the rest of the game. There's some good signs that can come from this. I'm sure they'll take it into Peoria and play 2 good games Friday and Saturday.
And I think you have to, again, look at John Francosa going down with the head injury just before the start of tonight's game during warm-ups, and suddenly Mark Giamp just getting out of the car and putting on that 35, and suddenly they say, you're our starter tonight. Got to be a tough situation for him. And again, I admire the way he hung in there. He got beat on a couple breakaways in a tough situation and came back and handled it quite well. Out-of-town scores, Salt Lake City, where they're really just getting underway about midway through the first period. The Milwaukee Admirals are tied 1-1 with Salt Lake City, as that is the only other game going on this evening in the International Hockey League. Statistics, Perry, you want to handle that?
And our final statistics for the night, total shots, a busy night for both sides, a lot off target. I'm sure concerned to both coaches, Mohavlich and Inglis. 24 saves for Mark Champ, a good night for him. 26 for Georges Gagnon. Most in the third period, he played very steady, again keeping that average, and his jinx on Toledo. He's now 5-0 with a goals against average of just under 2.15.
Toledo fell behind 4-0, came back 4-2, and held it that way until the very end. And you see the 5th Kalamazoo goal. Aurelio scoring from Nita Moore and Davies to cap this one off at 5-2. And again, a disappointing loss. Final there. Want to thank everyone again at the Sports Arena for helping us out. Matt Zaleski handing us all the statistics we'd ever need. Perry Braun, a pleasure working with you. I'm Glenn Cerny. Our final score once again, the Kalamazoo Wings 5, the Toledo Goaldiggers 2. Have a good evening, everyone.
Good time.